Like, I don't know that I get turned on by straight V.
No.
You don't get turned on by V?
Just looking at V?
I do.
No. I need some B with the V.
You're either an ABV guy or a BAV guy.
I'm a brains guy. I respect a woman's brains.
But if you look at like a full nude that has some V, it looks better.
That's okay.
Yeah.
But a zoomed in V?
Yeah.
No thank you.
Yeah, zoomed in V.
I don't think a
if you
zoomed
see
in
a
D
full
would look
frontal,
good.
You're not zooming in on the V first.
Sometimes you look at the V.
Why do you guys hate V so much?
I don't.
For me, it's like the V is a buffalo wing, and the B's are Blue Ranch. The A is celery. Altogether, it's a beautiful picture.
On today's part of my take, we've got a twofer for the people. We have our good friend Booger McFarland on the show talking divisional round, talking college football playoffs. Great time always catching up with Boog. We also have Dana White on the show. We're going to talk Monday Night Football. We now have our set bracket for Saturday and Sunday with the Rams beating the Vikings. We're going to do Hot Seat, Cool Throne. We have Guys on Chicks, and it's all brought to you by our friends at DraftKings. Have you played Pick 6 from DraftKings yet? What are you waiting for? You better get on it. The playoffs are here, and time is running out. As the official daily fantasy sports partner of the NFL, DraftKings does fantasy sports like no one else. Play for better payouts on Pick 6. It's super easy to get started. Download the DraftKings Pick 6 app, select 2 or more players, and choose if they'll have more or less of a stat. Will a quarterback throw for more than 2 TDs? Will a running back rush for less than 100 yards? Or a linebacker have more than 1 sack? It's just that easy. Pick 6 is available in most states, including Missouri, California, Texas, Georgia, and more. And DraftKings is making it even sweeter for first-timers. New Pick 6 customers play $5, get $50 in Pick 6 credits. Win more cash on Pick 6. Download the DraftKings Pick 6 app and use code TAKE. That's code TAKE for new customers to play $5, get $50 in Pick 6 credits only on DraftKings. Pick 6, the crown is yours. Okay, let's go.
Hey, football guy. Patino. AWS. Pardon my take. Yeah. Pardon my take. Yeah. Pardon my take. Yeah. Pardon my take. Yeah. Pardon my take.
Welcome to Part of My Take, presented by DraftKings. Win more cash on Pick 6. Download the DraftKings Pick 6 app. Use code TAKE. That's code TAKE for new customers to play $5, get $50 in Pick 6 credits only on DraftKings Pick 6. The crown is yours. Today is Wednesday, January 15th, and the Los Angeles Rams are a problem because they demolished the Minnesota Vikings, who end with one of the weirdest seasons possible. 14 wins, 4 losses. They only lost to 2 teams. They lost to the Lions and the Rams. That's it.
Great team when not playing those 2 teams.
Yeah, they won 5 games to start the season, lost to the Lions and Rams, ripped off 9 wins, and then lost to the Lions and Rams.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough, but in a way, if you go out like this, it does make it maybe a little bit easier when it comes time to make a decision on Sam Darnold.
Yeah, the Sam Darnold pumpkin did in fact happen. Now, he got sacked a million times, but
some of those were on him.
Yeah, the Rams defense was incredible. The Rams just overall, like we were sniffing around it. We're like, what is Sean McVay up to?
Yeah.
He doesn't care about seeding. He had a perfect game plan. The Rams looked great. Stafford looked like he was healthy for the first time in a long time. But yeah, I agree. Some of those were Sam Darnold not seeing it. And I think Troy might have said it. Maybe it was in week 18 someone said that, like, the problem with Sam Darnold is he has to see it to throw it guy. He's not throwing as much like anticipation, throwing guys open, and he couldn't see it last night.
Yeah, Troy, there was something up with Troy's voice. Did you notice that?
Yeah, also
It seemed like he was very, very frustrated.
I love when Troy Aikman gets mad at a team
He's like,
because he gets so disgusted.
He just hates bad football.
Yeah, and he was so mad about them being down 18 and they were running the ball and going slow to the line.
That was a problem for me, too, in the third quarter.
Yeah.
You're down, how many scores did they have, 2 or 3?
They were down 18, I believe.
They were down 18 points, and they're calling like 3 running plays in a row and taking their time getting in the huddle, getting up to the ball. Like, you got to go at this point. And at that, I felt like Kevin O'Connell just knew he wasn't going to win. He's like, it's not in the cards today.
Yeah.
So what's the rush?
Yeah, so the couple things. Minnesota, we've talked about this before. Minnesota fans listening to this right now, you guys deserve credit for being one of the most cursed sports cities out there. The last time they were in a championship round was 1991 with the Twins. They've had some really, really the problem with the Minnesota sports is they're actually like good, but they're never good enough to win, and they haven't had a title in whatever it is, 30 years, and they have all four major teams, and the Vikings especially feel like that cursed franchise where they have these seasons where they're phenomenal, and then they fall flat, and everything went wrong for them last night.
Yeah, it's like if you built an entire city out of the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah.
That's what their sports teams have been like. I do feel bad for them.
I do too.
This is a good team.
Yeah.
And now they have to face it's not just Sam Darnold. They have a lot of free agents coming up this offseason. And you have to figure out what's going on with your coach because he doesn't have a contract.
Yes.
And he's probably going to win Coach of the Year, as he should. He had a great season, but he's not locked in for the long term yet.
Yeah, it did feel like the last two games he got, it just didn't go well. I mean, the Rams did a lot of what Aaron Glenn did in Week 18 defensively. And yeah, I think, honestly, for like a positive spin zone for Vikings fans, this is, as much as it's frustrating because you're a 14-win team and you lose like that in the first round, this might be a long-term positive because you are not going to give Sam Darnold a long-term contract. You might still franchise tag him just because that gives you flexibility if J.J. McCarthy is not all the way ready, and you could potentially trade Sam Darnold to a team that needs him.
You get 2 first-rounders for him.
Right. So, I could still see that happening, but in a weird way, this is actually a positive where it's like you're not going to commit to Sam Darnold long-term after how this season ended. I was talking to a friend of mine who's a Vikings fan last night, and it is crazy to look back. The Minnesota Vikings have a skill where they make old quarterbacks or quarterbacks on like their fourth or fifth stop really fucking good for a year, and then it just completely vanishes. So going back, Randall Cunningham, when he was 39 years old, this was after he retired. He retired for a year. He had the second best QB rating of his career with the Minnesota Vikings. Jeff George, he was on his fourth team. He had his best career QB rating for the Minnesota Vikings. Brett Favre, he was 40 years old, and this is crazy. Brett Favre had his best career QB rating with the Minnesota Vikings when he was 40, then turned back to dust. It happened with Case Keenum, his fourth team, best season of his career, best QB rating, turned to dust. And then Sam Darnold, again, best fourth team, best season of his career, best QB rating. It's something about and I think really what the answer is, the Vikings are elite at drafting wide receivers and running backs, so it's a really good place for a quarterback to go. But they've had this in the last 20 years where a quarterback comes in.
Josh Dobbs.
Yeah, like
you did leave one out that goes against that narrative.
What?
McNabb.
Yeah, McNabb was bad.
Yeah.
I remember going to watch Bears Vikings in maybe it was like 2012, and McNabb, it was a Monday Night Football game, and he was just throwing the ball into the dirt.
Yeah, that was Fat McNabb.
Yeah, it was bad. But they do have this ability to make these quarterbacks on their fourth team or late in their career have career years, and then it's just poof, they're back to nothing. But now that happened again, but you have J.J. McCarthy.
Look at their free agents coming up right now.
Okay.
Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
Aaron Jones.
Yeah.
Cam Akers. Byron Murphy. Cam Robinson is a free agent.
Good draft for running backs, though.
Yep. Shaq Griffin and Stephon Gilmore.
Okay.
So they've got a lot of free agents.
They still, though, I think they have a lot of cap space.
$73 million.
They draft well. They have a good coach, and they have J.J. McCarthy. Mm-hmm. So as much as that was a painful season,
and Daniel Jones in that room.
And
it got so bad last night that I honestly wanted to see Daniel Jones.
I thought it was maybe going to happen. I saw some people being like, man, if the Vikings had just been bad this year, we would have had a great draft pick, and then we would have been loaded with J.J. McCarthy. I still think, the season had to have been fun.
Yeah.
I know it ended poorly, but, you can't root for a team and root for sports and just every year being like, oh, just get a good draft pick. That's not fun.
For next year.
Yeah.
We should be loaded for next year. Also, we don't know how J.J. McCarthy is going to play in December and January. He can't go outside and touch grass.
That's true.
Not in Minnesota.
That's true. But I as weirdly as that game went for the Vikings, and, I don't want to say they were frauds because they They won 14 games.
The Vikings were. This is not the same Vikings that we saw a couple years ago, where they had a negative point differential and they lost in the playoffs to the Giants. I think it's a different feel to the season. They were a legitimately good team.
Right.
Maybe it's just they have two kryptonites. They have the Rams and they have the Lions.
The Lions.
So if you can get a schedule next season where you don't play the Lions somehow, that would be optimal for the Vikings.
The Week 17 Vikings celebration after the Packers win looks a little bit not as fun.
Well, you know what? It's also the same thing. Like we talked about this earlier in the season. Teams after they play the Lions suck.
Yeah.
So as long as you don't play the Rams right after you play the Lions,
They did that twice.
You had to do it twice. You might be better than the Rams. You just happened to have gotten your ass kicked by the Lions.
Yeah. And on the flip side, as for the Rams, I'm concerned about my pinky. Max, you should be concerned about this game on Sunday. They looked really fucking good in their defense. We're going to talk about it with Booger more, but their defense is very good. Their pass rush is awesome. What are you thinking?
It's playoffs. Second round of the playoffs, you're going to play good teams. Rams are a good team. Eagles are a better team.
Oh,
Yes. Fuck yeah.
gotta get Jalen Hurts out of concussion protocol.
Jalen Hurts will be fine.
Okay.
What do you think
Better
about
game plan.
Oh, better game plan. What do you think about the game plan matchup of Nick Sirianni and Sean McVay? Who do you think has the edge?
Nick Sirianni, better winning percentage.
Yeah, that's true.
That's a good point.
That's true.
Sean McVay, he does. I was about to say he doesn't get enough credit. He does get a lot of credit.
Oh, yeah.
But I guess I'll just say it's all very well deserved.
Yeah, absolutely well deserved.
He's a great coach.
Yeah, and I don't know. This is ties for the deepest the Pinky team has gotten. I believe the Texans also got to the divisional round.
One in the stink.
There's some people who are like expecting me to cut off my entire finger. I'm not going to do that. I still don't know legally how we can do it.
I would cut the whole thing off.
If the Rams win the Super Bowl?
No, I'm just saying if it were me that had the pinky bet, I would be a man about it.
I'm going to do the tip my pinky. I am officially nervous though. I don't know what else to say.
Well, when you look at the Rams, they've got a great head coach. They've got a quarterback who, if we get the Matt Stafford that we got on Monday night, he could win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, except for that pass that the Vikings got screwed on that. That wasn't a pass.
That was a fumble.
That was a fumble. You have to.
It's like a loophole.
You can't just drop it.
Yeah,
like that was as much of a fumble as a fumble gets. He dropped the ball.
You know
It's
what?
like the tuck rule. Like that was a loophole.
That's a savvy vet.
That was a savvy vet. I said it, best throw he's ever made.
It was a great throw.
Yeah.
I mean, he had a receiver that was technically in the area.
Yep.
We need to revamp intentional grounding, because there's so many times when it's clearly when you throw the ball directly at the feet of your receiver on a screen that you're trying to get rid of, you're not trying to complete the pass there.
Well, it's the only rule in football where the refs always have to like huddle up and be like, all right, what'd you see? What'd you see?
And then
every other rule, you just throw a flag.
And then they do the sad little impotent flag. After they have the conversation, they just take it out of their pocket and just drop it and let gravity do the work.
Yeah.
At least throw the flag after it. But yeah, we need to think about intentional grounding, because there's so many times where you'll see a quarterback just spike the ball on the ground.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, there was a receiver in the area.
Yeah, so I'm worried about the Rams. I do have someone who's actually worse off than me right now. I don't know if you guys saw this floating around. This is from someone, I don't know his full username on Reddit, but he said, hello, fellow degenerates. As many of you are aware, 2 months ago I made a bet that I would chop off my humongous ding-dong if Notre Dame Fighting Irish won the college football playoffs. At the time, it seemed like a safe and comical bet, as Notre Dame had only played against our nation's troops and we were looking like the next fraud alert. However, due to flawed playoff seeding and Carson Beck's weak pussy ass, I found myself in a situation where Notre Dame will be playing for a national championship next week, placing my dick right on the chopping block. I just want to make it very clear that if Notre Dame wins the national championship, I will firmly stick to my word and receive a professional surgery that will safely remove my penis. The timeline for this, though, will have to be flexible, as I do have to consider my wife, who would like to have at least 2 children. In the event that I have to follow through with my bet, she has agreed to accelerate our family planning so I can get the surgery as soon as possible. I refuse to let my team be cursed, and if it means that I will lose my cock in the process, then so be it. Also, just FYI, I'm banned from CFB memes, so I cannot respond to anything there.
That rocks.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but go Buckeyes.
That rocks. I love that he just threw in, like, by the way, the mods over at r/CFB kicked me off.
Yeah.
And took away my freedom of speech. Fuck them, so I'll post it here.
Yeah, because I keep talking about my penis getting cut off.
What about your pinky toe?
Oh. Would that fuck up my balance?
Yeah.
Do both.
listen, I have no remember when I think it was the Texans year. We were in Baton Rouge.
That was never close, though.
No, I mean they were. Yeah, but this feels very
real.
Let's win this game.
Let's relax.
Well, no, I was about to say that
We
if
all
you think
have
about
too
this
much on
matchup
the fucking Eagles.
With
We're
the,
fucked.
with the Eagles and the Rams have the better coach, I think.
Yeah.
The Rams have the better quarterback, I think. The Rams' strength on their defense is it's their front four. They were just getting the backfield. I actually think that the Eagles will be able to neutralize that
Yeah,
because your offensive line is so good.
I hope so.
We ran for 300 yards against this team.
Okay, do it again.
Yeah. Also, if Saquon Barkley does what the rest of the NFL wants them to do, the Eagles win that game 29-10 on Sunday.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's different. It's
The rest of the NFL.
scoreboard. Well, I mean that was a huge
Fumble.
thing yesterday that everyone was talking about was why Saquon went down.
Oh yeah.
Team player.
Yeah, he's a team player.
Maybe if AJ gets his nose out of the quote book and into the playbook.
No, did you see that?
Yeah.
Did you see that? They found another picture of him reading it in a game where he had 100 yards and 15 targets.
Actually, 97 yards.
All right, semantics
I'm
police.
just telling you, it was 97 yards. Do you remember when we were in the year that the Texans were like, I think they started 0-3 and then won like 10 in a row or something. We were at a tailgate in Baton Rouge, and now we're at a tailgate in Baton Rouge, so this all comes under the idea that we were all hammered. But I talked to a doctor, and I asked him if he could surgically cut off my pinky.
A Louisiana doctor.
And he was like, legally, no doctor will ever do that. Because you can't just be like, I lost a bet, cut off my pinky.
Maybe go to like Turkey or like Tijuana or something.
The Turkey,
Yeah.
I like it. They do the hair surgeries and also have doctors that will remove fingers.
Yeah. Just take off a digit.
How about you just go over to Saudi Arabia, get caught stealing something?
Gamble.
Yeah.
Yeah. Chop it right off. Also, I did see, I forgot to mention this. Phil Fan Ack on Twitter said Darnold got his screen shaken, routes squiggly as fuck, wide receiver icon showing up as question marks, all that shit. That's exactly what happened last night. He was playing with the stadium pulse at 1,000,000.
Yeah.
And he couldn't see anything.
And it sucks that he has the Seeing Ghost clip out there.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure other quarterbacks have said stuff like that, and they've been mic'd up when they said it. But he got fucked by ESPN.
Yeah, he did.
He got double fucked by ESPN because they also did the out indefinitely mononucleosis graph on him.
Yep.
And they did the same.
Yep.
Somebody at ESPN hates Sam Darnold.
Yep.
And now every time he has these games, which most quarterbacks will have a game like that where they get nervous because they get hit a lot. The blitz is coming from weird directions. But with him, he's seeing ghosts.
What
He's Haley Joel Osment.
what happens to Sam Darnold? Do you think another team signs him?
I go back to what I said on Sunday night, which is that they should franchise tag him, and then the Steelers should go out there and trade 2 first-round picks for him.
Man, that would be bad for the Steelers. I also did a poll, and a lot of Steelers fans were like, Tomlin's got to go. So that does feel like the vibe.
Well, Tomlin might have to go, but if you're Mike Tomlin, I almost feel like Tomlin should want to go.
Yeah,
Because
but then again, he's the king of the castle.
true,
You don't give up the king of the castle.
but with Tomlin, he has gotten some like very mediocre teams and some below average teams to the playoffs.
Yeah,
Right? We can agree on that. That the personnel and the offensive scheme especially hasn't always been great in Pittsburgh. So he's like done more with less. If you're Mike Tomlin, aren't you like, get me a quarterback, general manager, get me another wide receiver, general manager, get me some offensive line help? That's on the GM.
but
That's not on Mike Tomlin.
But he signs off on every single draft pick and every free agent signing. Like literally everything. He touches everything in that entire organization. That was because I made that point and people were like, dude, Tomlin, he has full control. No one gets drafted in Pittsburgh without Tomlin approval.
Without giving a thumbs up, yeah. But
But also he's like very much involved in the draft process too. So
I think both sides should want. It's better if you go somewhere else.
yeah.
I see it as an Andy Reid situation.
Yeah.
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 Like
You ran him out of town.
we did not run him out of town, and I don't think Steelers fans necessarily would be running Mike Tomlin out of town. But I think sometimes it's good for both parties to start new.
The difference is with Andy Reid, they bottomed out.
True.
Right. So like that's the problem with Tomlin is he is too good of a coach to ever bottom out. Like if the Steelers won 3 games this year, I think the situation is a lot easier.
Andy Reid also had the never can win the big one thing.
That's true.
He did, yeah.
And he had clock management issues.
But that was
Yeah.
McNabb.
Yeah. It will be interesting. I don't know. So the Rams are a problem. I'm officially nervous. Max, we need to go to war. I'm going to war side by side with you again. This just might be the situation all playoffs. I'm nervous.
Yeah, I think next week. I think there's still 22-1 to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I was thinking about betting
and
them, and I was like, wait, what am I doing? Why would I want to do that?
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
Yeah,
So you can
like
buy a new pinky?
$100,000 doesn't make me happy that I am in this. Also, if people wanted, I did have a bunch of people being like, dude, we don't actually want to see your pinky get chopped off. If anyone had any other ideas, I'm committed to, much like the dick chop off guy.
You're too early on this.
Yeah.
But I'm committed to it. I'm committed to it.
I know, but let's
win.
see what happens this weekend.
Let's win.
Yeah, you should
win.
don't get nervous until the NFC Championship game. There's a lot of football out there.
But Jalen Hurts is concussed.
It's true. Do you think that when Dan Campbell shook hands with Kevin O'Connell at midfield and said we'll see you in a couple weeks, do you think he meant Cancun?
Uh-oh. Nice PF.
Was that
Imagine.
was that the Lions?
Imagine if your pinky was riding on Jay Daniels.
Yeah.
Listen, he's done crazy things. Like just get me late in the game with a 1-score game, and I'd be like, yeah, this will work.
Yep. Don't give away too much. That's part of my keys to the game.
All right, so the other big news we had was the Cowboys are officially moving on from Mike McCarthy. Really kind of fucked him.
Jerry Jones is a dick.
He's an asshole. He blocked him from doing interviews.
He's also a pussy. He's a dick, an asshole, and a pussy.
Yeah, it's crazy. So I thought he was going to stay because they were blocking him, but clearly that's not the case.
There was also, did you see the reports that Belichick, like that was a place Belichick would have been interested in, but he had done some like back channeling and they said like the job wasn't opening up, like when he was, considering UNC.
So Jerry Jones is just going off like day-to-day vibes.
Yeah.
Or he was waiting until Monday Night Football of Wild Card Weekend. As Mike Florio told us, he likes to drop this type of
That's
news
a fact.
during a time when the spotlight's on the NFL.
Yeah.
And so he might have just waited to do the news dump on the Monday night, the opposite of a news dump.
Yeah.
When he could get the most attention, in which case it's a world-class asshole move. And now Mike McCarthy, I'm assuming that he's going to get an interview like tomorrow with.
I think he already is
with
the
like 3
Bears.
teams.
Yeah, so I've thought long and hard about it. I've made a list of spin zones, reasons why Mike McCarthy will be fine if he ends up being the Bears head coach.
Walls are talking.
The walls are talking.
What are the walls saying?
The
He's
walls
gonna
are
be the Bears
talking.
head
It's a
coach.
done deal.
Which wall?
walls at this
the same
office.
walls that said Christian McCaffrey will never take another snap again.
Different wall though,
But
same
walls.
Yeah.
all right, so here's
Not
my
me.
here's my list. You guys can tell me. I just want to say, first of all, I don't even remember ever saying anything bad about Mike McCarthy. So like I was thinking about it, like the interview if he becomes the Bears head coach that we do with him won't even be that funny. Like I can't remember saying anything bad about Mike McCarthy. So here's my
You've always said
list.
he looks intelligent.
Yeah.
You've always said that he looks svelte.
Yeah, and
You've always said that he looks skinny and smart.
to my
Is that
knowledge,
motivational tactics?
I've never said it. All right, so here's my spin zones. When we do the eventual interview with Mike McCarthy, Bears head coach, Mike McCarthy is so grotesquely fat that I'll actually look skinny next to him.
Okay, it's true.
Does that feel right?
That feels mean.
I've never said anything mean about Mike McCarthy.
Well, you just said
did.
he was grotesquely fat.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
His clock management can't get worse than Eberflus's.
That is probably true, but we don't know because we never saw Eberflus play in very important games.
Yeah, true. Analytics, he's got the pro football. What are you looking up? You're looking up all the Mike McCarthy tweets?
He's
Just
got all,
every time.
Again,
you've ever
I've never
tweeted
said
Mike
anything
McCarthy.
bad about him.
he's got all the computer guys.
He's got all the computer guys. He's got a PFF subscription. Listen, how about this? Mike McCarthy, when he does that really dumb fat look to the jumbotron. One, there's no jumbotron in Soldier Field. Two, I feel like that's kind of relatable. Like I look stupid when I'm confused and have that like, oh God, I wish I could change this. So Mike McCarthy, he's a relatable head coach.
Yeah.
Not many out there.
Yeah, he hates fruit so much that he smashes it.
Yeah. Right.
pretty
Exactly.
good.
I have that on there. I have he's not from Chicago, but that doesn't mean you can't love the Bears. Right? Right?
Yeah, that's a good point.
He will maybe smash a watermelon. I would love to smash a watermelon with Mike McCarthy.
I think that's got to be your like when he signs video.
Smashing the watermelon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you should get that on deck.
Yeah. He knows how to beat the Packers.
Yep.
Sometimes that was his own team that he was beating, but
Yep.
he does know how to beat the Packers. He's 174 and 112 all time as a coach.
That's what I'm saying. He's a
and
good
he has a
coach.
Super Bowl. I'm talking to myself. I'm just trying to get ahead of it because I feel
When
like
you
this is
say
going to
that
happen.
he knows how to beat the Packers, would you also say that he knows how to beat the Bears?
He does know how to beat the Bears. But that was he an Aaron Rodgers merchant. That hurts me, actually. Never
Yeah.
mind. Memes, you want Mike McCarthy?
Oh yeah, I would take him in a second.
Really?
Yeah, he 3 straight seasons of 12-5. The Jets haven't had a winning record in 10 years.
Yeah. You reunite him with Aaron Rodgers.
10. 2015 was the last winning season, and we didn't make the playoffs.
Oh, I said I don't think Mike McCarthy is capable of a non-embarrassing loss. It's either win the Super Bowl or something hilariously dumb will happen, no in between. That's not that.
That's
big.
good for us. That's good for the show.
Yeah, good for the show. Yeah, we're going spin zones here. These are all spin zones.
He looks like a Chicago guy.
Yeah, he's a
Doesn't he?
Pittsburgh. It's the Pittsburgh. It's the Ditka
Yeah.
Pittsburgh connection. Yeah, the I don't know.
You remember when they had him on Nickelodeon? And
Yeah.
they painted his face and made him look all angry.
I told you, big fat dumb Mike McCarthy season has arrived. See, all right. So maybe I've said some things about Mike McCarthy. This would be a very funny interview.
It seems like this might be some self-loathing too, because a lot of the criticisms you have about Mike McCarthy apply
fat.
directly to Coach Doug's.
Yeah, bad clock management.
Yeah.
Grotesquely fat. Mm-hmm. I think it's gonna happen though. I think the Saints though. He was an assistant on the Saints.
I would personally rather live in New Orleans.
Yeah.
Not that I hate Chicago. It's just New Orleans is the best city on planet Earth.
I don't know if I'd want to live in New Orleans.
Oh, I would.
I'd like to visit New Orleans.
I would love to live
Visiting New Orleans is great. What? Just
There's a good one in 2020.
Just finished taping PMT. Great show coming, and we've done the impossible. We've talked ourselves into liking Mike McCarthy. What was that context? After what? After what game? Who knows?
Memes is looking.
Yeah.
This one wasn't as good.
They could definitely win the Super Bowl. I'm talking about the Cowboys, but just remember that big. Oh no, this is about the Packers. Oh no, this is Cowboys. But just remember that big fat face of Mike McCarthy during crunch time. That will keep you grounded.
They beat the Texans 35-20 on October 25th, 2020.
Who could forget
Yeah.
that
Insane
storied rivalry?
Okay, so memes, you take them.
But sure,
Okay,
because right now I think
who is in the lead right now for the Jets head coach?
Rex Ryan?
no, Rex Ryan was ruled out.
Oh, he was.
Yeah.
Officially?
Oh, you should have let him. You should have strung him along so he could have done more countdown, stuff. Oh, it was the Mike McCarthy. Maybe when he did the swag dance, that was pretty cool.
They should just not tell Rex Ryan. And so then as the season progresses, Rex is always like, well, maybe they'll fire him this week.
Yeah.
And they might come to me.
Yeah.
It could still be mine.
So if Mike McCarthy goes to the Bears, a lot of people are thinking Aaron Glenn might go to the Saints, which might leave the Jets with Matt Nagy or Arthur Smith.
Okay, two friends of the show.
Yeah.
That's great. And this is Ben Johnson going to the Raiders under this assumption?
Yep.
I actually think that Mike McCarthy would be a good coach for the Bears. I think it could be way, way worse.
I've talked myself
You do not
into-
want Ron Rivera.
Yeah.
Like if you,
No,
I understand why the McCaskey family is attracted to the idea of Ron Rivera for history. In terms of a football coach,
I don't think he's a serious candidate.
you could not make a worse decision.
I want Ben Johnson or Todd Monken.
Nice
Those
guy.
are the two. But the walls have made me very nervous with how this seems to be going forward. All right. Anything else for play? Oh, Deion Sanders talked to Jerry Jones, which would be very funny.
That's what I want.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're a fan of the NFL and just following the Cowboys being just insane, you want Deion Sanders.
I also want it because it would be very funny if it was the Cowboys trade Dak to Cleveland. Cleveland has Dak and Deshaun, and then they trade their first pick, and then Deion takes Shador or Travis Hunter and then coaches the Cowboys.
So if you're Deion, you would want to coach your son. You don't want to go to the NFL for the first time as a head coach and then immediately have another team draft your son.
Yeah.
I imagine that he's going to want Shador.
Yeah, I would imagine. I'd
And
want
but-
Travis Hunter more.
Also with Dak, he does have a no trade clause. So that would
You
probably,
don't think he'd waive it for Cleveland?
Cleveland? I mean, they got everything else.
Listen, Deshaun Watson having another Achilles injury is a great thing for the Browns. I was talking to Zupi about it. One of our coworkers is a Browns fan. Like, you don't want him playing anymore. Just be done. Like, if Russell Wilson taught us anything, just like get on with your mistake.
You also don't want him using your team-issued rehab staff.
Correct.
And that's another year of that.
Just stay away. Like, start moving on. There's no reason to pretend there's going to be anything different. Like, Deshaun Watson's not going to come back from double Achilles surgery.
Yeah.
And horrendous last 4 years, and all of a sudden be Deshaun Watson from the Texans.
Yeah.
He's just not. So it's actually almost better. Like, it's taking the choice out where it's like, we're just going to move on from this.
He wasn't even Deshaun Watson from the Texans right after he was off the Texans.
Right.
He's been bad from the get-go.
Yeah. All right. So, any other cleanup from this week? Oh, Max, would you like to disavow the Philly fan?
Complete disavow. That guy was a huge asshole, but Big Dom is already taking care of it, so we're good.
Yeah, so for people who missed it, there was a viral video of a Packers fan basically getting verbally harassed by a Eagles fan. It was a woman.
Bad verbally
harassed. Like shitty stuff. And then that guy has been doxxed, I believe, and he's been banned from the Eagle. And Big Dom has contacted the woman, the Packers fan, and hooked him up with the care package. Big Dom to save the day.
Yeah, Big Dom saved the day because there was worries that guy was going to be karma for all of Philadelphia, but now Philadelphia has removed themselves and that guy from the situation. That's a bad guy. Is not affiliated with anything Philadelphia Eagles.
Love that.
I like that. Take a strong stand against it. And then after they doxed him, some of the reports were like, this guy had a daughter and he was married to a woman. How could he say these things?
Oh my God.
Like you have to have a daughter to know to not call a woman a cunt.
Yeah, but he clearly didn't.
Max, I'm not so sure that this completely removes the stink and the curse. Like it's a bad look for Philadelphia. I understand he does not represent Philadelphia, and you guys have taken all necessary steps up to this point to get this guy out of the picture, which I appreciate.
I got an
Credit to
idea.
Big Dom.
Yeah.
I have an idea too.
Okay, you go.
Okay, so my good friend the Beeve from Hard Factor, he sent me the official NFL fan rehabilitation quiz.
Oh.
This is what fans have to do to get invited back to the stadium.
If
they
this.
get kicked out for fighting, for puking, if there's like a kid behind them, hypothetically, that they turn around and they put their hand down their throat and they make themselves throw up on that kid.
You're just talking all Philly stories,
in
yeah?
some city. In order to get back into the stadium, they have to do an official fan rehabilitation quiz to make sure that they're ready. I think you should take this quiz.
I'll take the quiz.
All right, so
I can take
do
that
we have
quiz.
it right now?
I have it. I think it's probably too long to do on the show.
Can we find one or two questions?
I was thinking for we do. It
We're
for
going to do it for
Friday.
PMTV this week.
Oh, that's
We're going
perfect.
to do it for PMTV.
All right,
this
so
week.
tune into PMTV. Max, take the quiz. I had another one. I was just going to say, we have AWLs who are fans of all teams. Maybe you should just take a Packer fan out to dinner.
We gave that Packer fan a care package.
Okay, maybe give.
You
know what?
Actually, fine.
Follow what? No, you.
Fine, I'll take scumbag
buy,
Jack McCarthy out to dinner.
No, not Jack McCarthy. Buy one random AWL Packer fan lunch. You don't have
Deal.
to. You don't have to
Deal.
take them out.
Deal.
You just have to they'll tweet at you. You just say, hey, tell me where the food's going. Boom, done.
Deal. Or if you just want to send me a receipt, I'll Venmo you for what's going on.
Oh no.
You said you'd do the class.
Yeah.
I said I thought it was a test.
Yeah, it's
It's a test.
It's a
class and test.
You said a test is different than a class.
Well, you need a class.
I'm not taking a class.
It's a 4-hour online test class.
4 hours?
Yeah.
That's what he just showed me.
and it specifies the NFL stadium. Like there's a Philadelphia class.
I'll do that.
Okay,
I'll
here's
do it
what
4
it
hours.
includes.
That's my whole day tomorrow.
What is disruptive fan behavior? Review of the stadium alcohol policy. Education on stadium safety. Skills in game day empathy. Skills in improving game day communication. Skills in game day stress management. Actually, you could use all these things. Game day drinking can be dangerous. That's one of the modules of the class.
Yes.
I think you should take this class.
I'll take the class. I'll take the class, and that removes all stink from this guy. And
and the lunch.
And yes,
lunch.
and someone send me their receipt for lunch. I'll Venmo you
Love
your
that.
receipt for lunch.
Max, I need you to be curse free through these playoffs.
I need you to be curse free, especially this weekend.
Yeah. No, I'll take the class. I'll Venmo a Packer fan for lunch.
Fuck yes. Okay. This is good. We need to get all the
4
stink
hours
off.
is crazy.
All the stink off.
You better pass it.
You also should, you know what? He also...
You're not going to pass it.
The passing, I feel like I got to study. The passing, I'm not
We'll
promising.
get you a certificate and everything,
Yeah.
like a diploma.
I think also on the PMTV you should go around the office and compliment all the women in the office in a natural like way that is nice. That's not uncomfortable. Just give them a compliment.
Deal.
We got to just get the karma going in the right direction here.
I can't wait to hear Max's non-sexual compliments that he gives.
Yeah.
No one said sexual except for you.
Well,
That's
you,
true.
You said like
Put it on the bonk list.
like
Yeah.
like inappropriate.
Bunk list.
Like a good. You're gonna go out of your way to be like you're. I like your shoes.
Yeah. Hey, how is the bonk list going?
That will be the first
question.
submission for 2025.
Okay. Nice.
What's saying non-sexual? It's a bonk now.
Hey, did that woman?
That was like you assuming that talking to a woman is going to be sexual.
No.
Yeah, I could compliment them on their work.
Yeah, I was
That's
saying.
you're Mike Pence.
Yeah.
I was saying that Max was going to go out of his way to make sure it wasn't creepy or weird. with his compliment.
But
Which
by
would then
you,
make it creepy
But
and weird.
by you assuming that made it creepy or weird.
Okay.
Because
But fact or fiction, you would be going out of your way to be like, what's the least weird thing I can compliment you on?
I mean, this is an office. I can compliment them on their work.
Can you? We haven't seen it.
Yeah.
All right. We'll get this going in the right direction. Good job. All right. Should we do Hot Seat Cool Throne and then get to our interviews? Okay, let's get to Hot Seat Cool Throne. I mentioned on Monday's show we have a new sponsor, Doritos, our favorite chips ever. Awesome that Doritos is on board with PMT. We got something special. They're running a contest for the Super Bowl, and we're going to watch a Doritos commercial and react to it. And the first one up is called Abduction. So hit it, Max.
Aliens.
UFO detected.
Doritos.
Yeah.
I like that.
like it. Haven't had a good alien movie in a while.
Yeah. So that was a very cool ad because aliens, I think if aliens came down to Earth right now, the first thing they'd want is Doritos.
Oh, if they saw that Doritos chip that we have in our trophy case, the perfectly seasoned Cool Ranch Dorito,
Ooh.
you would travel across the galaxy for that.
So with Patrick Mahomes' help, Doritos just revealed the top 3 ads that are still in the running to win the Doritos Crash the Super Bowl. We're going to watch all 3 during this show. Now it is up to the people to choose which creator will win $1 million and have their submission run as Doritos' 25th Super Bowl ad by voting for their favorite fan-made ad at DoritosCrash.com. Now until January 28th, fans can visit DoritosCrash.com and cast their vote for who they think is the winning ad. Will it be Abduction? We're going to watch Barbershop and Charades after this. So vote for the next Super Bowl ad at DoritosCrash.com. DoritosCrash.com. Thank you, Doritos. I'm going to eat some Doritos after the show. Hank, Hot Seat Cool Throne.
My hot seat is Lane Kiffin.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sydney Thomas, the viral ring girl from the Jake Paul fight.
I don't know who that is.
She was
the ring girl in the Jake Paul fight.
She was a lady that was.
I obviously
Did
know.
you-
I
did you
obviously
watch
know.
the Jake
I
Paul fight?
fucking
Yeah.
know who it is, guys. I follow her on all our socials.
Oh, man.
Means your mic is on. Damn, that was way too much of a laugh. She seems like a very nice young woman.
And she was doing an interview, and she said that an SEC coach actually slid in her DMs. And then I think one of her, everyone kind of assumed it was Lane Kiffin, and then one of her friends just like straight up posted a Snapchat showing the DM.
Oh.
He just DM'd her RTR.
Oh, because no, but was that after? Because then she golfed with Nick Saban.
Yeah.
So I think he DM'd her Roll Tide Roll after she golfed with Nick Saban.
I do not believe that's a timeline. You could be correct, but I think she golfed with Saban on Monday.
Right, and that's when Lane quote tweeted the picture and said, Lane quote tweeted the picture of her golfing with Saban being like, looks like mystery solved.
Yeah, he was making a joke. Like it was the
But
Snapchat.
why would he Snapchat her RTR?
No,
because
he
she went to
DM'd
Alabama.
her RTR.
She went to Alabama.
One of
Yeah.
her friends took a screen, like a
Got
picture
it.
of her of the DM message.
Got it.
So like the DM got leaked via her friend's Snapchat.
I was
is how I
confu-
interpreted it.
I was confused why he would DM
then that was-
RTR, but she went to Alabama. I forgot that part.
Right.
Yeah. Got
Close
it.
to Alabama.
I mean, why did everybody think it was Lane Kiffin? I don't understand. I was thinking maybe Mark Stoops,
Sam Pittman was my first thought.
Sam Pittman. A lot of disrespect to
Compare
Shane Beamer.
chest size.
Shane Beamer not being tossed in the equation.
Shane Beamer, yeah. Yeah. Billy Napier.
Could have been Billy.
Yeah, there's
Could have
a
been
lot of
Brian Kelly.
Brian Kelly. That would Brian, we haven't talked enough about how bad of a time Brian Kelly's having. Not only did LSU not make a 12-team playoff, and last year was not great, but he now has Notre Dame, the team he left, where he said you can't win a national title here, playing for the national title in the first 12-team playoff.
Right. This is a tough time of year for him.
All right, so Lane Kiffin's on the hot seat.
Are we not thinking Hugh Freeze? Hugh Freeze is a sneaky dark horse.
Oh, yeah.
But he shouldn't be.
Yeah. That would have been from a burner, though, so you probably couldn't track it.
Yeah, I think Hugh Freeze might be the horniest coach in football.
Yeah. Yeah, I would. Yeah, or Lane Kiffin
Or Lane
if he
Kiffin,
DM'd
maybe.
her.
I mean, if you're an Ole Miss fan, you want your head coach being like roll tide roll.
No, you want more interest in Ole Miss than young misses.
Yeah, I mean it is off season.
I'm putting him on the hot seat.
Okay, all right.
I think it might be a
He also has a girlfriend, doesn't he? Like, that's
I don't know.
I don't think.
I have no
playful,
idea.
friendly jab.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he was trying to move in silence, and he
Should
got
we-
his spot blown up.
Should we? Next person to get the lottery ball has to DM Sidney Thomas. Just say AWL ?
Sure,
Oh Hank, you just sign up. You just do it.
I'll win the lottery ball.
Okay.
I mean, it won't be memes. My cool throw is Leandro Ball. Talked about it last week. I think he was my cool throw. And then yesterday he signed a $13 million contract with Def Jam and Universal Music.
Good for him.
Wow.
I
$8
love
million
that.
guaranteed. Retains full ownership of his music and record label.
No one has been more right than LeVar Ball.
No.
His sons became stars. Like they made millions and millions of dollars. Two of them play in the
Lonzo
NBA.
is on a $100 million
Yeah.
deal. LaMelo's on a $200 million deal. And LiAngelo just signed a $13 million rapper deal.
And it's a good song.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's got more. There was a what's his name, Matthias?
Yeah.
He put out like a Instagram story after a win last week where they were playing a new song.
Oh.
A new
yeah, because the
snippet.
Bulls get all the leaks.
Yeah,
Yeah. The Bulls and the Hornets probably have the swaggiest locker rooms
Mm-hmm.
because they get all the direct to the
but it's
locker
like that is like the number one. Like our team just won. Like we're putting on that Jello 1st.
room. Good for him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm happy.
Yeah. Okay. Good job, Hank.
Thanks.
My hot seat is China.
China?
China's on the hot seat
Uh-oh.
because they're going to try to ban TikTok again. They're having that conversation right now. But good news, at least I guess if you're a fan of China, there's a new app that people are signing up for in the theory that TikTok is about to get banned in the United States, and it's called Red Note. And Red Note is like more Chinese than TikTok.
Okay.
They're getting even more of your information than TikTok is.
Okay.
But it's not banned yet.
Okay.
So China just has an endless stream of spy apps that they're going to be releasing every time one gets shut down. There's another one to replace it. So I don't actually know what Red Note does, but I've heard that it's like all the bad stuff about TikTok, but way worse.
So TikTok is getting. I've obviously seen that this has been floating around, but why? Just because China owns it?
China kind of owns the company. If you're a company in China that's that big, the government, the
Got it.
Communist Party owns.
And they don't
your
want. All
company.
right, that makes sense. They don't want us using that app because
Because
they're just stealing all of our information.
It's in everybody's phone. Yeah.
But
So
then
who-
Americans' reaction to this was just to download a more Chinese-owned app.
Yeah.
We're not the smartest.
no.
So
I think
who's
part
gonna,
of it was like, oh, if TikTok's great and it's a little bit Chinese, why don't I just get like a super Chinese app?
who's going to buy TikTok? I saw Elon was maybe rumored.
So the thing is,
It's like $50 billion.
they want to
shit.
sell it. The U.S. government wants them to sell it to a company that has like controlling interest in the United States,
Right.
Or at the very least, not in China. but the Chinese government does not want to sell that app
Makes sense.
to the United States because then we get the algorithm that they had.
Right.
So it's like China would rather hang on to it and lose all the business in the U.S. than sell it to the U.S.
Got it.
So Elon can offer a bunch of money for it, but I don't think China's going to sell it.
Also, Elon probably it would be stupid to offer money for it because if people are not on TikTok, they have to go back to Instagram and Twitter.
Also, Elon doesn't need to buy TikTok. He's already got X,
Yeah.
the everything app.
Yes.
Could be like a Facebook, Instagram situation. Like Zuckerberg had Facebook and then bought it.
Bought Instagram.
Yeah.
I don't like Zuckerberg's new look. Bothers me.
Yeah.
Go back to the hoodie and the bad haircut.
Are you intimidated because he's a man, an active man who participates in martial combat
Yeah,
instead of watching it?
I am. It's lame to be a guy watching sports.
To watch sports. I was shocked that a billionaire is going to change his political leanings depending on who's in office.
Yeah,
That's
as the
wild.
wind blows.
That's wild to me.
yeah. Never saw that one coming.
My cool throne is Russell Wilson
Oh,
because Russell Wilson says that he is open to returning. He hopes to return to the Pittsburgh Steelers next year.
wow!
So maybe run it back.
wow.
And our good friend Jersey Jerry was sad last night online because it hit him for the first time. That might be the last time he gets to say you just got rusty.
You just got rusty.
You got ruthied. But I don't think it is. I think that he wants to come back. And Pittsburgh, I don't know what their plan is going to be for quarterback. I don't know that they have a plan right now. But we might get to see Russell Wilson again.
I would like to say that I'm open to winning the lottery.
Yeah, same.
Hank's open to going on a date with Sidney Thomas. Mm-hmm. These are all things that we're open to. So Russ, good job.
Do you think he DM'd the Steelers? Sup?
You up?
What's up?
Hey, yeah. I mean, is he gonna remember when
Yins up?
Schefter was like, yeah, Russell Wilson takes a team friendly deal? It's like, no.
Yeah.
It's not team friendly when that's the only deal you could get.
Yeah. He's the quarterback of the future.
I
Pittsburgh Steelers.
don't think the Steelers should. They got to find something else.
Yeah.
They got to do something else.
Just anything.
In a weird way, that sucked for them that Sam Darnold sucked because I think if you're a Steelers fan, you were hoping that Sam Darnold was awesome and then you could trade for J.J. McCarthy.
Well, then Kevin O'Connell was saying, like, if you look at the body of work with Sam Darnold, he's been a great quarterback. It depends on how big of a scope you're using
Correct.
on the body of work.
Correct.
Like, what was the blip?
Yeah.
Were these 4 games against those 2 teams, was that the blip? Or were the other, 14 games this season? Was that the blip in Sam Darnold's career?
It's the Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
Daniel Jones had that one year where everything worked out and they went to the playoffs and then they paid him for that year, not realizing that that was the anomaly year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. My hot seat is anyone who doesn't understand this whole 4K thing on Twitter or X, sorry, the Everything app.
I muted the word 4K.
Could you imagine if you didn't understand what that is?
Yeah, I understand exactly what it is, but I was talking to Max beforehand, and Max didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
So, Hank, do you want to tell Max what it is?
That's tough for Max, because Max has a video editing and production background. So if anyone's going to understand it,
Yeah, I
it
know.
should be
It
him.
should be
I
Max.
know,
So
it's
Max,
weird.
you probably understand it better than anyone.
It's essentially this is how I would describe it because you guys are old.
No,
you remember,
no.
You remember when games were in SD and then you had the SD option and you could switch to HD.
Yeah.
And it was a little crispier.
Yes.
So that's what they're saying. They're basically saying hold and look at this image and it's going to be clearer in 4K.
Is it work?
Kind of. I think, but I also think there's a lot of accounts that are just hopping on the bandwagon
Right.
because there's some I've seen that may have no difference.
I saw one that was like, you can see every pebble on this road in 4K.
But there's some images that just aren't, like they don't have the 4K potential.
Is 4K like magic eye? If you stare at 4K for long enough, like a giraffe pops out?
No, it's just better resolution. But like if I have a shitty picture of you
It doesn't exist.
and I choose, look at this in 4K, it's still gonna be whatever resolution that I shot it in.
Okay, so you can just lie and say
Yes,
this is in
that's
4K.
that's what a lot of people are doing.
Okay, got it.
Huh. Okay. So it sounds like I got to get in on something.
Yeah, it sounds like I got to say, like the picture of the NFL football that I like to post, just if you zoom in on this picture of the NFL football.
What do you
you'll
actually
see it's
say when you
made up
tweet
of
it?
other footballs.
You say hold for 4K?
I think it's like
Memes.
select view in 4K.
Memes, what do you say? What do you say when you do it? Memes, you've done it.
Tap, comma, hold, and load in 4K.
Hold and load in 4K.
Yes.
I'm gonna do
Okay, I'm doing one live right now that people can look back at. Okay, so that was my hot seat. That again, I knew, but it sounds like a lot of people didn't know. So happy that we cleared it up for all the people who didn't know. My cool throne is Jeontay Porter, because he actually wasn't just telling his friends to bet his props and betting his own props, but he was texting them during the game with updates of how the game was going. And I don't know. I know this would probably be opposite. It would probably be more hot seat because it's like the most open and shut case of all time. But I just think it's funny because they have the text messages. And here's one from a game in January 2024. He said, I went back to locker room to get eye checked on. I don't know if I'm going to play much more. I'm not starting second half. But if it's garbage time, I will shoot 1,000,000 shots. I love that one. If it's garbage time, I'll shoot 1,000,000 shots. Jeontay Porter and like everyone who plays pick up hoops and their team goes down and they're just like, fuck it, let's just start chucking.
Wait, so I'm confused. Was he telling his friends to bet the under? He's like, I'm not going back in, but if I do get back in, I'm going to shoot a lot.
Yeah, it's kind of confusing because
that's actually a point in his favor.
Yeah, true. Be like, I gave him both sides of the information there.
Maybe it was just his like psychologist, and he was texting him like, hey, here's where my mind's at right now.
If it's garbage time, I will shoot 1,000,000 shots.
Yeah,
love that. Okay, let's get to our interviews. We got Booger McFarland. We've got Dana White, and we also have another commercial from Doritos. So we said it a few minutes ago, but Doritos is revealing the top 3 ads that are still in the running to win the Doritos Crash the Super Bowl contest. Now it's up to the people to choose which creator will win $1 million and have their submission run as Doritos' 25th Super Bowl ad by voting for their favorite fan-made ad at DoritosCrash.com. Now until January 28th, fans can visit DoritosCrash.com and cast their vote for who they think is the winning ad. Will it be Abduction, Barbershop, or Charades? We're going to watch Barbershop right now. So let's see it, Max.
I mean, what can I say? I'm a bit of Casanova myself. Nothing fancy. I still got it. And you won't believe I had the hair. And boy, did I have hair. I was like the Black Barber. Ooh. Man, what?
That was awesome.
I thought he was going to bite it off.
Yeah, that was a great ad. So you could vote Abduction, Barbershop, or Charades, which we'll watch in a minute. Vote now for the next Super Bowl ad at DoritosCrash.com. Here is Booger McFarland. Okay, we now welcome on our very, very, very good friend. It is Booger McFarland. We're going to talk some football. We're going to talk some NFL. We're going to talk college football, national championship. Boog, thank you for joining us. I want to start with the best game out there left, and maybe we'll talk a little recap of the weekend, but Bills-Ravens. This is why we watch sports, Boog. We had a whole rant about it on Monday. This is why we lift them weights. This is why we eat the donuts. This is why we do everything. Bills-Ravens. What do you see in this game? And I mean, like, you take it whichever direction you want because I'm so excited to watch this game.
Well, a couple of things. I highly doubt anyone playing in this game is going to eat donuts. That's number one. But I like how you try to get people on your side, though.
Yeah.
Second, yeah, man. Like the first thing I go back to is when they met in week 4. And first play of the game, Derrick Henry goes 87 yards. So this game, my initial thought comes down to whether or not Buffalo can stop the Baltimore running game. I mean, they rushed for over 200 yards that game. And if you, not to get into the weeds too much, but Buffalo's defense likes to play nickel defense. That means 2 linebackers and a nickelback. And Johnson, number 7, is that nickelback. Well, what does that mean? That means that nickelback, who's 190 pounds, has got to be the one to fill in those run gaps and tackle Derrick Henry. How many times would PFT be willing to tackle me? Like, ultimately, that's what it comes down to, because Johnson has got to tackle Derrick Henry probably 6 or 7 times during the game, and I just don't know if he can do that. So I want to see what is Buffalo's adjustment going to be, because they can't allow Johnson to tackle Derrick Henry over and over. On the flip side, Josh Allen is playing at an all-time high level. If you're Baltimore, how do you affect Josh Allen? We saw Denver try to get after him and rush him a little bit. They couldn't do it. So how do you affect Josh Allen? That way he can't get everyone. He can't get Shakir involved. He can't get Kincaid involved. He can't get Amari Cooper involved. So those are the first initial two thoughts I have on the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could tackle you. I would simply want it more. That's the key, is you just have to want it more than the other guy.
You can want it as much as you want to, buddy.
Yeah.
At 285, and if I'm running at you, you can want it all you want. You ain't stopping me, buddy.
Yeah.
I would backpack you. I would just, here's my strategy with Derrick Henry. I would kind of do the Olay and let him get right by me and then jump on his shoulders. And then he'd have to carry me like a backpack and I'd hopefully slow him down for somebody else, somebody bigger to come in and just take care of business.
I still don't know if that's going to work, buddy, because I would carry you. How much do you weigh, by the way? Because you look like you're like really skinny fat. So I mean, what are you, like 195, 200?
That's a little personal, Booger. No, I'm clocking in about 175. I've been swimming a lot recently.
Ooh, 175.
175? That's a bad looking 75, man.
Oh, I was going to go the other way. I was going to say, you know what they call a man under 200 pounds?
What's that?
A woman.
Listen, I've been in better shape in my life. That's a fair thing to say, but I'm confident that I could tackle you if you gave me enough time.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I mean, 100 yards hopefully 100 yards is enough time.
Yeah. Also, they took away the best strategy that the Bills had, which was you could always just grab Derrick Henry by his hair and pull him down. And you can't do that anymore.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm excited about this game too. We were saying on Monday that ironically the weakness in the Ravens might be their kicking game, based on how Justin Tucker's been recently. He seems to have straightened it out a little bit, and he's better than he was. But yeah, to me, this Ravens team seems like they're as good of a team as they've had in this entire run with Lamar.
Yeah, I think I would agree to that. And how about that? A Hall of Fame kicker in Justin Tucker, to your point, could be a weak link. And we know he's got the leg. Like, he's done it for years. We know it's in there. Do you think it's just mental? Like, how can a guy who's a Hall of Fame player, who's done something at the highest level, like get a mental block where he can't do it in front of people all of a sudden? Have you ever thought about that?
That's the kicker thing, man. Kickers are weird.
Yeah.
They usually have like the physical ability to do their job well into their 40s, but at some point you get, you lose just a tiny bit of strength, and then that affects your mind. And in your mind, then you try to overcompensate for anything weak that you're doing.
I think John Harbaugh's got to trust him, though. So if this game comes down to a money kick, it's, end of half, end of game, 57-yarder where you knew Justin Tucker was money. The announcer is going to bring it up. Jim Nantz and Tony Romo, Tony's going to bring it up and we're going to have a conversation. There may even be a timeout call to build attention. I would just love to know what would be going through the mind of Tucker at that point if it happens, and also what would go through the mind of his teammates, because you can't just erase history of this past season where he struggled. I mean, he struggled a lot throughout this season, man.
Yeah, it has. It always feels like if you have that kicker situation going into the playoffs, like we're just waiting for the other shoe to drop or waiting for that moment to happen. I want to give you some credit, Boog, because we watched the Rams versus Vikings on Monday night. The Rams were incredible. Sacked Sam Darnold 9 times. Sam Darnold did hold on to the ball a little too much, but you pulled up your own receipt, which I love this move. People should do this more often when they're right. You said in November, if I could have any defense in the NFL for the next 3 years, not sure I wouldn't take the Rams. That front seven is young and nasty. Imagine going from AD to what they have now. Great job, Les Snead. They are young and nasty. They are incredible. They showed it on Monday night. Now we have that defensive line going against the best offensive line, or maybe them or the Lions with the Eagles. How's that going to play out? And again, credit to you for a great take.
Well, I appreciate it. It's going to be a heavyweight fight, man. And if you think about this, we often, everybody loves to use these cliches. The Green Bay Packers are the youngest team in the league. Okay, I get it. They've been the youngest team the last 2 years. How about this one? The Rams defense, and I think Troy used this last night, it's the cheapest defense in football because they got all those first and second year players. It's the cheapest defense in football, one of the most talented defenses in football. And if they have any shot of upsetting the Philadelphia Eagles, those young players have to go out and play as if they don't know any better. Because on paper and in Vegas, everybody would tell you that it's going to be a mismatch. That offensive line, Saquon Barkley, just think about what happened a month or so ago when these two teams played each other. But it's something about when you face a team a second time. I remember when we played the Philadelphia Eagles and we couldn't get over that hump and we kept going against them. the ability to know what you were going to deal with. And when you went into the game, you didn't have to feel anybody out. You knew what it was going to be. I think the Rams are going to get the benefit of that because they know what it's like to see Mekhi Becton. Like the dude's 6'7", 350. Like you could put you two together, and that's Mekhi Becton, Lane Johnson, Landon Dickerson, Cam Jurgens, Malata. Like those dudes are gigantic. I think the smallest one outside of the center is like 6'6" and 325.
Right.
And so you have to know what that feels like to go against it. That way, when you go into the game, you understand how to attack it. I think the Rams are going to do that. The key to this game will be, and it sounds crazy, I don't know what the weather's going to be like, but I guarantee it's going to be cold. How does a team from Southern California who's got young guys deal with the cold weather?
Yeah.
As somebody who's been in this league and been a young guy, it's difficult to deal with if you haven't had to do it a lot. The first time I played in cold weather, I'll never forget it. We were in Chicago. And here I am. I'm a rookie. I'm about to put on every layer that the equipment manager is giving me. And Hardy Nicholson looks at me and says, "Hey, no. We don't do that on defense." I'm like, "What do you mean? It's like 10 degrees outside." He said, "No, we don't do that." He's like, "On defense, we tough it out. We got to tough it out." So, of course, I wanted to fit in. I didn't put anything on. And when that wind came through that tunnel in Chicago, it felt like it went right through the crack of my behind and out of my nose. It's the coldest I've ever been in my life. I promise you, I've never been colder in my life. And all I thought about was when this game was going to be over and how could I get back to the locker room? And so the next few times that I played in the cold weather, I prepared for it. I used to use this stuff called Tiger Balm and Vaseline, drink a shot of whiskey before the game, a little chicken broth. And so my body and my skin was ready to play. That's a real thing. I hope this Rams team is ready to deal with the elements because that will give them a heads up in playing in this game.
What's the worst play that you like? Is it tackling someone else? Is it getting blocked? What's the worst feeling in the cold? Being under the pile? All of it.
Pre-game warm-up is kind of the worst because you got to get your body loose and warm. And once you get loose and warm, and no lie, small shot of whiskey. I mean, we don't need anything hard like vodka. I mean, we don't need anything. Just like a small shot of, a little Tennessee something light, just to kind of get the throat nice and warm, put the Tiger Balm on, get ready to go, get lubed up a little bit. And here's the last thing. You got to put the full body onesie on, the ski suit, cut the toes out, all right? Make sure that the shoes are nice and dry. And once you get warm, the key is to stay warm. Mm-hmm. Like the worst thing you ever want to do is get warm and then cool off because then you freeze.
Right.
All that perspiration freezes up and you'll be cold as hell.
Yeah.
I love the idea of you stepping into Chicago and just getting spit roasted by the wind, just like from your ass to your nose. I can't stand this. Did you ever see like an offensive lineman and they're not wearing sleeves in the cold? And did that make you intimidated?
First of all, I think it's a code that the offensive lineman can't wear sleeves. Yep. They all didn't have any sleeves on. I didn't feel intimidated. I just thought they was crazy. Listen, at a certain point, I don't care how tough you are, mentally tough. If it's 0 degrees, everybody's cold. Mm-hmm. Like you're not going to tell me at 0, man, I'm not cold. That's a lie. Everybody's cold. Now, are you going to play with it? Sure, you can play with it, but everybody's cold at 0 degrees. Coldest game I ever played in was Green Bay. When it was 0 degrees, wind chill was -15, and the sun was out. Coincidentally, it was one of the best games I ever had because I knew how to dress, the Tiger Balm on my skin, I felt good, and the sun was out. So the sun being out at least made me feel better.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
It does.
I'm looking at the weather. It's going to be a high of 38 on Sunday in Philly.
That's
what time's the game?
It's like 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock.
Yeah,
it's a 3 o'clock game.
It's probably going to be like mid-30s, possibly raining. So I guess it could be worse.
Yeah,
it could be.
Are you worried, Boog, about Jalen Hurts at all? I mean, he looks rusty. He did not have the best game. That offense, I don't know what it is. The Eagles' offense, like it's not sluggish because they obviously have like incredible skill position on the outside, and Saquon had 2,000 yards. It's almost just like they move at a pace that's like I don't get it. I just watch it and I'm like you guys should be going faster and you should have more plays that are explosive downfield with all the guys you have.
So everybody says the same thing, but they beat around the bush. So let's just lay this out.
Yeah.
Let's look at the Eagles offense. A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert. They got weapons. Carcaterra. Offensive line, I think we would say is one of the best offensive lines in football, right?
Yep.
Saquon Barkley's been the best back in football this year, right?
Yep.
So what's the last piece?
Fullback.
Yeah. Fullback.
Nobody plays with a fullback anymore. Last piece is the quarterback.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, like, he hasn't been bad, but he hasn't been great.
Right.
And so it kind of leaves you asking that question, what's wrong with the Eagles' offense? The answer is right in front of us, guys. The indifferences of the quarterback and how that reverberates throughout the offense is the issue. Because regardless of what's being said, when the quarterback is off, everybody's affected. The receivers are affected. The offensive line is affected. And to me, Saquon Barkley has been the calming force on this team because he was an outside guy that came in, and Saquon Barkley is a team guy. He's a guy that tries to galvanize everybody and get everybody together. And so I honestly think he's the guy that's holding this thing together because as we saw throughout the season, receivers looking at the quarterback sideways, quarterbacks look at the receiver sideways, and everybody came out and said the right thing. But to your point, Big Cat, you just asked the question
Right.
that everybody continues to ask.
Right.
What's going on with the offense?
Like Jalen Hurts is not bad, but he also is not like great. It's such a like confounding issue because I like him a lot of times and he's objectively not a bad quarterback, but I think it's what you're saying, like everything else is there and you look at some of the guys that are still playing and the way they elevate their game in the playoffs. And Jalen Hurts has done that. He played phenomenal in the Super Bowl. So it's like, get back to that Jalen Hurts and get to that level.
No question. We've seen him do it. He was the best player on the field in that Super Bowl against Patrick Mahomes, no doubt about it. I will try to describe it this way and make a comparison that I think everybody in America can understand. It's like having a hamburger with no cheese on it and no condiments. Like, it's a burger. Everybody loves burgers. But is the burger really that good without the condiments? Like it's okay, but everybody has their specific condiments in which they want to put on it. I'm a cheese, bacon, mayo, every now and then a hard fried egg guy. I don't know what you guys are, but unless you're 5 years old, nobody really eats a plain burger.
Yeah, I was going to say.
We all need something on it.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking about the cheese the whole time.
Yeah, I eat.
Exactly.
I eat plain burgers just because my son, he's 5, so then I just clean up his. I eat the burger that he doesn't eat. So, but yeah, it's terrible. Every single time I'm like, this sucks.
But if I said, hey, let's go get some burgers, you'd be like, let's go. Like, I'm all in.
Yeah.
But if I don't get everything that comes with the burger, you're like, not really that good of a.
Yeah.
I like that.
I think that's Jalen Hurts. Like, Jalen Hurts is like the burger, but we just continue to wait when we're going to get the toppings. When are we going to get everything that goes with it? We've had it before. We had it in the Super Bowl where he was outstanding, and it was like the greatest In-N-Out burger, double animal style with cheese, the whole nine. And we just want to get that again. And we haven't quite gotten it. We've been dealing with Fat Burger. We've been dealing with Chili's Old Timer with cheese. Like, we've been dealing with a lot of things, but we haven't got the In-N-Out double animal style since the Super Bowl.
Yeah. He should never have given us a taste of it because now that's all I think about.
Yeah.
Max, I'm curious to know what you think. Our producer's a big Eagles fan. He's also a big fan of burgers. So I'm curious to hear what his thoughts are on this analogy.
I would say he's a little bit better than a plain burger, but that's me. I could be biased.
Okay. It's a little
That's
bit
fair.
better. Yeah.
So
A little bit. So he's like a burger with like pickles only.
No, I'll give him a slice of cheese, no sauce.
Okay. Just all right. That's fair.
Yeah. Okay. I got it.
a turkey burger? Maybe he's a turkey burger with cheese.
No, turkey burgers are good. You can dress up a turkey burger pretty good.
You can.
Yeah, pretty
Turkey
good.
burgers
Exactly,
are the worst.
pretty good.
Come on, like seriously, they're the worst.
Boog, what do the Rams offense have to do to win this game? Because Matt Stafford, he didn't look good for the last month and a half of the regular season, but he looked pretty good on Monday Night Football. He was slinging it like old man. So what do they have to do?
Well, I wonder what the health of Tyler Higbee is going to be like, because he went out in that game with an abdominal strain or something happened, a shoulder. I can't remember what it was, but he didn't come back. And while he was in the game, he had got 5 or 6 catches. So that's going to be key. Second of all, they need to be able to run the football. And Jalen Carter and Chris Jones are probably the 2 best defensive tackles in football. No disrespect to Jeffrey Simmons down in Tennessee, but Jalen Carter is playing at an unbelievable level for Philadelphia. And Nolan Smith, who a lot of people thought was a bust, he's coming on. So You got to be able to neutralize those two guys. And you got to run the football at them with Williams, man. And I think the Rams offensive line is going to be key. Then it comes down, like when you get in big games, man, like your stars got to be stars. It's got to be Stafford to Cooper Kupp, Stafford to Puka Nacua, Stafford to Robinson. Like Matthew Stafford has to remind us of the Matthew Stafford that was with Calvin Johnson. Like he's got to come out and sling that thing. It can't be anything else. Like he's got to throw for 300 yards. Puka Nakua's got to have a vintage day. Cooper Kupp has got to remind us when everybody was like, man, who's that white boy? That's Cooper Kupp. Like he's got to have one of those days. And so I think if they do that and they can run the football and this defense plays at that super high level, the Rams can take this game into the fourth quarter. And when you're the underdog, that's really all you want. You want, when you come out of that last break and it's 6 minutes left, for it to be a one-score game either way. And that's all you can ask for on the road, in the elements. I think the Rams can do that, but we'll see.
Yeah.
I'm excited. We might get a White Cooper versus White Cooper matchup.
Cooper Kupp versus Cooper DeJean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who you taking?
I'm taking White Cooper.
Yeah.
I'm taking
be more
that's a win
specific.
for white people. I'll be honest. We've been taking a lot of L's recently. That's a big dub for the white race.
By the way, I'm going to check your NFL facts right now. Cooper DeJean, white DB.
Yep.
Before Cooper DeJean, who was the last prominent white cornerback?
This is easy. Jason Sehorn.
There you go. I'm just checking to see. I'm just checking.
Come on.
Easy. Well, it's not a long list. Yeah, it's not a long list. All right, so Boog, I have a question about the Chiefs. You were obviously in this spot as a player. You were on teams that had the bye week. How much better do you feel after a bye week? Is it significant? Like, can you notice the difference in practice? And we do the rest versus rust thing. Is that just all bullshit?
I would rather have the rest, especially if your bye week was early to middle part of the season. And like the physical part, you're not gonna go from like 3 to 10 physically. You might go from 3 to like 7. But more importantly, mentally, I think a week break mentally where you don't have to get your mental levels, your competitive juices flowing. You can take a mental break where you actually, instead of dreading to play or trying to figure out how to play, you're chomping at the bit to play. And that's a big difference. That's why you see the teams that have a bye week often come out in that first 5 minutes, that first quarter, they are flying around because it's mental. You're ready to compete. You're ready to get out there. You haven't competed in a while because we're creatures of habit. And when you've done something from July until January, and then you take a week off, like your body is still in that competitive mode, even though you've had a week off. So you're ready to get out. It's kind of like you, but watch this. You guys do a podcast every week or whatever. If you take a week off, you're like, man, I can't wait to get back on. I got so much to say. I'm ready. Mm-hmm. It's the same thing with football. And I think mentally the Chiefs are going to get a break. I think the Chiefs also are going to be really healthy. It'll be the healthiest they've been. I think if you're the Texans, man, like you really got to be careful the first quarter of that game. And like you can't come out of the first quarter down 14-0 because they're going to try to come out and make a statement and let everyone know that it's the Chiefs invitational still. But yeah, I would rather be mentally and physically rested and have a tad bit of rust than to continue playing and have your body banged up and beat up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in a way, though, I also feel like getting to play and play well last weekend is a very, very good thing for the Houston Texans because they haven't looked that good this season. They haven't been blowing people out, but their defense looked so good last week, and they were heating the quarterback up, putting him under pressure all day. Are they going to be able to do that to Patrick Mahomes? Are they going to be able to get to his face and make some awkward throws?
So I don't really have to even watch this game. If I looked at the stat sheet and without like took a blind look at the stat sheet and I saw Will Anderson Jr. 3 sacks, 4 pressures. I saw Danielle Hunter 2 sacks, 7 pressures. I'm like, this is a game in the fourth quarter because if those two defensive ends can put up a stat line like that where they sack Mahomes 4 or 5 times, it's 9 or 10 pressures. Yeah, that game is going to be a tight game because that means they're going to affect the quarterback and they're going to affect the Chiefs offense. Like the biggest weakness, I think everyone knows, it's the Chiefs tackles. Yeah. Like they've had to move Joe Tooney out there. They've tried to draft a guy. It doesn't matter. Those tackles have been bad. I know it. You know it. You know who else knows it? Andy Reid. So he's going to try to game plan around that. And so the Houston Texans defense and DeMeco Ryans have got to figure out a way to affect the quarterback. If you affect Patrick Mahomes, then you affect the entire team because he's the thing that makes that go, offensively, the Texas offensive line, man, like I'm not sure what happened to Laramie Tunsil. I'm not sure what's going on with Titus, with Howard. Like these guys haven't been playing well. They got a lot of money invested in that offensive line, and they haven't played well. And for the first time in over a year, I thought C.J. Stroud looked like the C.J. Stroud we saw when Ohio State took on Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
He was running around, making plays. He was making throws. Like I haven't seen that guy because we all watched that Sugar Bowl, and you were like, I didn't know he could have second reaction plays. I didn't know he could do that. I think he won America over that night. And then all of a sudden, his rookie year was great. And then this year, it's kind of been like I haven't seen that guy since his rookie year. If he can play like that, man, for sure, this can be a game. I don't know if I expect it to be close, but I think the Texans can hang in there for a little while.
It's a good point about C.J. Stroud scrambling because it did feel like he did that more and was effective with his legs on Saturday against the Chargers. You brought up something, Andy Reid game planning, and this might be a dumb question, but do you have a story or remember a specific game where your game plan was so elite that you knew almost instantly you're like, this is going to be the easiest day ever? Like we know I guess the Super Bowl, the first one you won, but is there another time where you're like, our coaches just the way they got us ready for this game, there's no way we're losing today?
Yeah, I remember in Indianapolis where we're playing Cincinnati Bengals. It's a Monday night. And it wasn't the game plan. It was after the first series. So if you remember when Carson Palmer was there and Ocho Cinco and like all those guys during the Cincinnati heyday, they went no huddle. They went up tempo. And when you go up tempo, I'll tell people all the time, when you go up tempo, like the offense can't be super complicated because those guys aren't rocket science. We aren't rocket science. Like it's got to be a code that everybody's going about. And so after the first series, we figured out when Carson Palmer will come to the line of scrimmage and say, 922 Las Vegas, 922 Las Vegas. Well, Las Vegas is a West Coast city. It was a run to the left. If he came up and said, whatever, 644, let's go Jacksonville, check that, New York East, it was a run to the right. And so we were able to decipher their game plan running the football within the first series of the game. And so they didn't really have a ton of yards rushing that game. So it's one of those things where like the game plan can be cool, but everybody makes little subtle adjustments.
Yeah.
And so it was a cool game plan where Palmer is kind of, doing this thing, and we were able kind of to decipher their code that night.
That's got to be the best feeling in the world. To just be like, hey, guys, we know this, and now, like, every single time he says it, we're just going to stop it.
No. Well, what you have to do is you have to kind of be like a kid in a candy store. Like, you can't let everyone know that you know when Santa's coming. Like, you kind of got to, like, oh, man, this is tough. Like, you really know it's coming.
Yeah,
I love that.
You played 5 seasons for John Gruden in Tampa, right?
Yes.
Our colleague John Gruden. You have any good John Gruden stories from the locker room?
I got so many, man. Like, first of all, I'll start it with this. Like, John and I started out on a good relationship. Then we hit a rocky patch, and I think we're good now. But there was a period of time where I was probably his least favorite player of all time.
Really?
You gotta understand. Gruden is an offensive guy, and there's nothing more he loved than another offensive player. Like, if you name him, he loved him. Defensive guys were just a tool to get him the ball back, especially down in Tampa. One of the best Gruden stories ever. Let's see. We've all seen the clip of Chris Sims. Like, Chris Sims and John Gruden, and Chris Sims is trying to call the play, and Gruden is looking at him like, I just told you to play. Like, can you really say, like, can you not say the play? And he is dog cussing him and MFing him. And we're standing there on defense like this poor kid, man. Mm-hmm. And just to see how he did and dealt with young players was the most amazing thing, dude. And he would do it every single year. He didn't like young players because he wanted veteran guys that knew how to practice, that knew how to work, that knew that he didn't have to babysit. And so anytime a young guy came in, John Gruden was always he was always a treat to watch.
Yeah. So there's another game out there this weekend. The Commanders, my beloved Commanders, have to go up to Detroit and play against the Detroit Lions. I haven't released my keys to the game. I'm breaking down film all week. I don't want to release keys to the game too early because I know that Jared listens to the podcast, and I don't want to give him any inside information, so I'm saving that for Friday. But what would your keys to the game be for how the Commanders could possibly have a chance to beat what looks like on paper to be a pretty significant mismatch?
Well, Jaden Daniels has to be special, and their defense is going to have to create some turnovers. Like we've seen Jared Goff turn the football over a little bit before, so they got to get turnovers. And I think before we even get to the X's and O's on the field, they got to withstand that building. I played in that at Ford Field. That place is going to be at a fever pitch. They're the number 1 seed. If they win 2 games, they get to the Super Bowl. Both of those games are going to be at home. Like they've earned the right for the road to the Super Bowl to come through Detroit. And so you got to withstand, like the road team. There's a reason only one road team won this week, and that was your Commanders. Now, can they do it again? It's going to be a different building. Tampa was loud. Tampa was boisterous. Ford Field is going to be totally different. So they got to withstand that. And then Jaden Daniels is going to have to we all know he can make those plays with his legs. He's got to rush for over 100 yards. And then he's going to have to hit some chunk plays down the field to Terry McLaurin. The good thing about everything I just said, it's all doable.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's all very doable because this Detroit defense is banged up, it's beat up. Like I think they're going to be without of their starting day 11. They're going to be without 6 of those guys, 5 or 6. One of their corners, Terrion Arnold, he's a rookie. He's learning. He's going to be good, but he's very handsy right now. If you're Terry McLaurin, I think you got to anytime there's a matchup of Terrion Arnold versus Terry McLaurin, and you're Jaden Daniels, let it go. Now, I think you're going to have to watch for the safety, Kirby Joseph, in the middle of the field. He's an all-pro player. He's got 8 or 9 interceptions. You got to watch for him. But I think if you're Washington and you watch film, this is not the Detroit Lions team that we thought they were going to be defensively at the beginning of the season. They are vulnerable. But in order to make them vulnerable, you're going to have to withstand the building. You're going to have to get some turnovers from Jared Goff. And you're going to have to get your quarterback to play to where we think he's going to be in 2 or 3 years. Like in 2 or 3 years, I think Jaden Daniels is in the conversation with Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, and Joe Burrow. He's not there yet, but he's got to give you a glimpse of him being there in order for them to win this game.
Do you believe at all? I mean, the Alex Anzalone coming back for the Lions week 18. They have an incredible game plan for the Vikings. He's got the green dot on. Is that like overstated his return, or is it something that really like getting everyone in the right place can mean that much, and being in the right place so that Lions defense can maybe cover up all the injuries they have?
Like getting everybody back in their role, dude, is like a major key. Like imagine if your wife goes out of town and she leaves the kids with you, big guy, and then all of a sudden
happening this weekend to me. It's happening this weekend.
Like, listen, the wife goes out of town, you got the kids, and maybe you got a nanny that comes over and helps out, but it's just not the same when the wife is there. Like if things don't feel the same, it's not the same. You don't feel the same. Things may be getting done, but it's not the same. It's very similar, dude. It's the same thing. So when Anzalone comes back, things feel normal. He's the green dot. He calls the defense. You feel reassured that if you take a nap and fall asleep, that the kids aren't going to just jump out the windows.
Right.
It's like when Anzalone there, he's going to get everybody in their proper position. So it definitely makes a difference.
Yeah, my kids, my wife is out of town on Saturday, Friday and Saturday this weekend, and my kids get ready to eat cereal for breakfast, lunch, and then mac and cheese for dinner. That we're doing that. That's the whole menu. That's the entire menu for the whole weekend. Yeah, that's the whole menu. It's cereal and mac and cheese. You choose. You can have you can want cereal for dinner, mac and cheese for breakfast. I don't care, but those are the only 2 things on the menu.
We don't like DoorDash, Uber Eats, or like bring something.
No, because then I always, you know what? I'm trying to watch my weight. I'm trying to be better. I'm about to turn 40, Boog. The problem that I have is that when I order dinner for my family, in my head, I treat my 5, 3, and 1-year-old as full-grown adults. So I'm like, all right, my 3-year-old, she'll have a Kung Pao chicken. My 1-year-old, he'll have, the General Tso's and a side of fried rice. And they don't eat any of it. I mean, they're kids. They eat like 3 bites of something and that's it. So then I end up with so much food and I just get fatter. So that's why that's tough for me when I try to order for the whole family.
I got you. 2 things out of that. Number 1, when the 40th birthday party is planned, I need an invitation. Whatever we're doing for...
We're PFT and I are both turning 40 at the end of January. We'll do something in New Orleans for the Super Bowl week.
Yeah.
Just let me know when. I will definitely be there. Okay. That's number 1. Number 2, I mean, if you're going to order for the kids, like stop ordering like they're grown. Like just
I can't help myself. I'm
call
like, oh,
Chick-fil-A and tell them to send like a party trade. You can just get 50 nuggets and let them all share it.
Yeah, no, when we go to Chick-fil-A, I'm like, all right, you guys, like, I look back and I'm like to my 1-year-old, like, all right, you're good for 20 nuggets. They're good for 3, and then I eat the other 17. That's my problem.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that sometimes, buddy. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, they look at you like you're over providing for them too. That's a good dad move.
Yeah.
They're never going to worry about their next meal. That's good. That's a positive.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna eat all of it. Boog, I did want to talk about college football real quick. Monday night we have the national championship. Ohio State, Notre Dame. Ohio State's the better team. We're gonna be honest. Yeah. Ohio State's the better team talent wise. Give us the case for Notre Dame because I love what Marcus Freeman has done. I think they are such a tough team, and I think that there's something in there with Notre Dame that they can hang around in this game and maybe have some, one of those college football plays late where they're able to win this game.
I think there's something there. Like, this team has been super resilient all year. I think if they're starting 22, they're going to be down like 8 or 9 guys when this game starts. Marcus Freeman has built an unbelievable program, the resiliency, the mental toughness. With that being said, when you step on the football field, like, you got to make plays. Like Jeremiah Love, he's got to have a day. Jadarian Price, that they're going to have to run the football. Like, anytime you're the underdog, you want to shorten the game a little bit. Riley Leonard, we say this every time, like, he's going to have to make a play down the field throwing the football. He's got to hit a big play. And then their defense, which I think is Marcus Freeman's specialty, is going to have to be out of this mind. Because Chip Kelly, the offensive coordinator, and Ryan Day, I think, number one, they're going to try to get Jeremiah Smith going because he had 1 catch for 3 yards last time. And I don't know if you want to go into an offseason where he isn't a huge part of the game. So I think Jeremiah Smith is going to be targeted early and often. I think when you look at Travion Henderson, you look at Quinshawn Judkins, it's so many of those guys that I think are going to be unbelievable for Notre Dame to deal with. So, to me, if Notre Dame plays at their best, if they play at their best, this is still a 2-score game.
Oh,
and I think, even if they play at their, because there's such a disparity, I think, when it comes to talent where we are now. Now, if this was the original Notre Dame starting 22, I think this would be a 1-score game and maybe come down to the fourth quarter where you're like, okay, Notre Dame, I can see a path for them winning. It's tough for me to see that now with the current Notre Dame team based on the injuries and based on everything they got. And I think the wild card is this. If you're a Notre Dame fan, I think you got to go and say a prayer for number one, say a prayer to touchdown Jesus.
Yep.
And then secondly, you got to hope that Will Howard reverts back to Will Howard at Kansas State against the University of Kansas, where sometimes he just didn't realize he was a good quarterback.
Yeah.
And maybe he has a bad day. Other than that, I think this is going to be a comfortable Ohio State win. May not start out that way, but I think eventually it'll be a comfortable win for them.
Okay.
Notre Dame has the ultimate 12th man, the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
just call on him.
do.
But, Boog, I mean, why even play the game? Surely Ohio State would never lose a game to a team they should beat by 2 scores.
Yeah, of course. I mean, we just saw that a month ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean,
but notice how Michigan won the game. Turnovers. Will Howard threw, I know he threw 1 pick, maybe 2.
Yeah.
They ran the football. They controlled the line of scrimmage. They shortened the game. Jeremiah Smith did everything that I just talked about. Run the ball, shorten the game. Jeremiah Smith didn't get off. Will Howard playing like not Will Howard. Like, that's what they got to get. Like, you got to ask yourself, can we repeat what Michigan did?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Booger, you're a big SEC guy. Would you like to apologize for the SEC in these playoffs? Because all I heard going into the playoffs, there should be 3 more SEC teams. You could make the case that half the SEC should get in. They're the best conference in the country. Now we don't have any SEC. You barely had any in the semifinals. If you can call Texas an SEC team.
They are.
I feel like you should apologize on behalf of the conference.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm not going to apologize for a conference that's dominated college football. You know, what I will say is that I think the years and the ages where the SEC and to a certain extent the ACC with Clemson dominate college football is over with. And you look no further than the transfer portal and NIL, because no longer can these teams in the South stack their rosters, because I'm not going to wait 2 years to play when I can go to Penn State or Oregon or Michigan and I can play right now I can play right now, and they'll pay me $250,000. So like that's just never ever gonna. And think about this. Think about this. Look no further than the number one recruit in America this year, Bryce Underwood. Bryce Underwood was committed to LSU for 10 months. And at the very end, here comes Ellison, here comes Portnoy, here comes Brady, and all this money comes in, and now he goes to Michigan. 5 years ago, that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
But now it happens. So I think we've just reached a point where there's going to be a lot more parity in college football.
Yeah. Yeah, You're probably right. All right, so, Boog, I have one last question. Rowback question, RHOBACK.com, promo code TAKE, 20% off your first purchase, Q-Zips, polos, hoodies, joggers, shorts. Rowback.com, promo code TAKE. My last question for you.
By the way,
what do you got?
Look what I have on right now, baby. Rowback joggers.
Oh, let's
Love
go.
that.
All right, yeah, you know what? My last question is, what are you doing in the gym these days? You said you just had come from the gym, so what's the routine? We have a new gym in our office, so I'm trying to get back in a new routine. I've been busy, but like once football ends, I want to get into a new routine.
So, once you've reached the age of 40, I think what you need to do in the gym is lift a lot less weight. So everybody knows I'm a big Peloton guy. I'm almost at like 1,500 rides for my career. But I wanted to get back into the gym and just kind of start to tone up a little bit. And so what I do in the gym is a lot of body weight stuff. So squatting, one single leg functional movements. So single leg body weight squats. Put your body in a position, and you can do it just using your body weight. Single leg RDLs. Like the heaviest dumbbell I pick up is 40 pounds, and it's a lot of supersets. It's high intensity. It's 8 reps here, 8 reps there, 3-4 rounds. I'm not benching. I'm not squatting. I'm not throwing 315 pounds up. You don't need to do that. Like you're at the age of 40, it's a lot more about mobility. It's a lot more about prehab, post-hab, like all those things where your body can functionally move. Like make sure your hips are stretched out. All right. Not only will you enjoy, but the wife will too. Like make sure everything is nice and loose. Okay. I feel like that's a Nugenics commercial with Frank Thomas and Doug Flutie.
Yeah, Frank Thomas.
But that's what I'm doing in the gym now, man. A lot of functional movement, a lot of stretching, a lot of superset stuff, a lot of high intensity, so I can tone up, man.
Okay. You look good. You look great. Yeah.
Also, Booger, you kind of teased me a second ago when you were talking about Jaden. I've been spending the last 2 days just watching Jaden highlights, just soaking it all in, because I don't know when the next time I'm going to get a playoff victory is. Can you list your top 7 quarterbacks in the NFL?
Top 7 quarterbacks. So Mahomes, Lamar, Josh, Joe Burrow. That's 4. I would probably go Matthew Stafford, 5.
Goff.
Jared Goff, 6. And then it's probably Dak, 7.
Oh,
Shut up. Cut him off. Get him off the air.
We're right there. You're right there.
And then probably and
Cooper
then,
Rush,
like,
8.
to me, Jaden Daniels is already top 10. He's already a top 10 quarterback.
Dak.
Okay. I mostly just want to see your fingers as you count them. That's the real reason I asked that
Figure
question.
them out. See, that's like right there. Like this one here, man. This one really, it just kind of, I don't know. It does a thing. Like these 2 right here.
Yeah.
They're buddies.
Yeah.
It looks like you're making a gang sign.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, Boog, thank you as always. We love having you on, and we're gonna watch one of the best weekends. This is a divisional round. Is when it really is like, hey, this is the final 8 teams. Let's go find who's going to the conference championship. It's the best.
I can't wait, man. Appreciate you guys always having me on. Love you guys, man. Looking forward to seeing you guys in New Orleans, man.
Yes.
Let me know when the celebration is.
Yes, done.
All right.
See you, Boog. Okay, thanks to Booger McFarland, our good friend Boog. We have our last ad that we're going to watch for the Doritos contest, Crash the Super Bowl contest. It's up to the people to choose which creator will win $1 million and have their submission run as Doritos' 25th Super Bowl ad by voting for their favorite fan-made ad at DoritosCrash.com. Now until January 28th, fans can visit DoritosCrash.com and cast their vote for who they think is the winning ad. Will it be abduction, barbershop, or charades? Vote for the next Super Bowl ad at DoritosCrash.com. Let's watch charades.
Okay, Dad for the win.
I don't know. I'm not very good at this game.
Oh, it's in the bag.
One word. Door. Eat. Toes.
Okay.
Door. Eat. Toes. Door. Eat. Toes. Door. Eat. Toes. Door. Eat. Toes. I got it. Chip.
Love it. Love it. So go vote for the next Super Bowl ad at DoritosCrash.com and go eat some Doritos because it's the best chip ever. And here's Dana White. Okay, we now welcome on a very special guest, our friend. It is Dana White, ahead of UFC 311 this Saturday in Inglewood, California. Actually, let's start there, Dana. Are we still on for Inglewood? Obviously, with the fires and everything, it's been crazy, really sad. But are we full go in Steve Ballmer's house, the Intuit Dome?
Yes, we are. We're going. I'm flying in there Thursday night. We have the press conference. Friday is the weigh-ins, and then the events on Saturday.
Okay, so in UFC 311, we have 2 title bouts. What are you most looking forward to in this card? Because it's by the way, I want to say thank you. There's nothing better than like a full day of NFL playoff football, and then you go right into a UFC card. It's like that's why we watch sports.
I could not agree more. How about the Rams, man? How about the Rams? How cool is that?
Yeah. Crazy game.
They look legit.
Yeah, they do. They look really good.
So good. And Puka Nacua, so me and Lorenzo Fertitta funded this team, like a peewee team. And Puka Nacua came off that team and grew up with my boys playing football. So
wow, that's awesome. What was he like? What was he like as a kid playing?
Dalton Kincaid lived with us through COVID. He played football with my son. We have that team, the little Cowboys team. Tons of guys went on to play in college in the NFL.
Yeah.
So what was Puka like as a kid playing football? Because I love watching him play. He's crazy out there.
He was a beast. He could play quarterback, running back, wide receiver. He played defense. He played special teams. They put him everywhere.
And his name's really fun to say, too.
Yeah.
Puka Nacua.
It really is a fun. And when you're in the stadium, Puka Nacua! Every 30 seconds, they're screaming his name.
Yeah.
He's the greatest kid in the world. It couldn't happen to a better guy.
It's awesome to watch. He's an absolute beast. So, all right, so UFC 311, tell us which fight are you most interested in, or you're like, this is the one that people maybe it's not the title fight, but we're like, this is going to be an incredible fight.
I mean, first of all, the main event, Islam and Arman, it's they are both, the style of fighting is almost identical. So it's the toughest fight Islam could possibly get. So that's a great fight. And obviously, Merab and Umar, the co-main event. Umar is supposed to be the future. I mean, he's undefeated, 18-0, and Merab has walked through everybody, former champions, and let me think. Yuri Prochazka and Jamal Hill is a great fight. The whole card's badass.
Are we
Kevin Holland's always fun.
Are we worried at all about Umar's corner man, Khabib, being kicked off a Frontier airline flight?
What the fuck is he doing on Frontier Airline?
That was my question.
This kid's got more money than anybody, but that's how humble he is. He's flying on that piece of shit airline. What do you expect?
Well, my question was going to be, number one, what are you doing having Khabib flying Frontier? And then number two, how bad do you have to fuck up to get kicked off Frontier?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't know what you have to do to get kicked off Frontier Airlines, but listen, Khabib doesn't fight anymore because he's got shitloads of money.
Yeah,
I got to teach Khabib how to charter a plane.
Yeah, and we need to make sure
just going from Vegas to San Francisco.
Yeah,
I do like that he was saying the exit row though. That's a man. That's saying like if in case anything goes wrong, I would want if I was on that flight, I'd be pissed off they kicked Khabib off as like an exit row captain.
Yeah.
You are 100% right. That's how dumb they are on Frontier Airlines. If there's anybody you want in that position, it's Khabib Nurmagomedov.
Yeah.
Good job, Frontier Airlines.
and we want it on the record. He's flying Frontier by choice, not because Dana didn't pay him. Because I'm sure there's people who are like, oh, Dana didn't pay him. He's flying Frontier.
Not only did Dana pay him, after he won the Conor McGregor fight, he went on like the Muslim world tour, and Saudi Arabia rained on him. Abu Dhabi rained on him. Qatar rained on him. Yeah, that kid's got more money than Putin rained on him. I mean, yeah, Habib shouldn't even know what the fuck Frontier Airlines is, just like most people don't.
The more you say the people that rained on him, now I'm beginning to understand why maybe somebody wouldn't want him flying. But yeah, but no,
he got rained on.
You make some good points. He's probably got a lot of money right now.
Yeah,
he's got plenty of money.
So give us something to look forward to in the undercards, because I love the undercards too. We're going to be done with football, and yeah, it's the nightcap. It's like you're going to just roll into a perfect Saturday night just filled with sports. So what's one of the undercards that you have your eye on?
You can look at Talbot, Barcelos, Almeida, and Spivak. Those are both great fights.
Okay. I'm excited. Dana, I got a tough question for you. Ready?
It's a badass card.
Yeah.
Sold out. You know, the thing just opened. Biggest gate in the history of the arena, which isn't a big history, but WWE just did like 4 million. We should do close to 10 for this fight.
Yeah. That place looks awesome.
Do you have any musical guests that you're lining up for 311?
Oh.
To play?
Yeah.
No.
Not 311?
Not 311?
That's funny.
It would be good.
They should play.
We'll have guys there. I think Travis Barker's coming, and we'll have musical guests there, but they won't be playing.
Yeah. I got a tough question for you, Dana. This is a very tough question. Talk to me about oiling up.
The oiling up?
Yeah.
The weirdest shit ever. This thing, I'm on. Your boy Taylor Lewan is blowing me up right now.
Oh, okay. He probably wants to play blackjack. So yeah, you basically every time you go live, people just say Dana oil me up, like nonstop in the comments. You want to just address it and be like, hey, I'm not oiling anyone up. I'm not oiling myself up. Stop saying it.
Yeah. I was live one time and some guy says, hey, Dana, I want to oil you up. And I was like, what the fuck does that even mean? What kind of shit is that? And now it's a thing. Every time I go live, it's a thing. I don't understand it. I don't know what it means. I don't get it. I don't want to get it.
I think you got to get oiled up.
Yeah, have you thought about oiling yourself up? Like that would do crazy numbers if you're like, hey, I got big news I'm breaking on Instagram Live about Conor McGregor, and then it just goes to you just oiling yourself up.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I have no idea. You guys know what it means? What's it mean?
I think it just happened one time, and now everybody's going to keep saying, hey, Dana, go get oiled up until you actually get oiled up.
Yeah, it's the internet. The internet just goes crazy.
And then after you do it, everybody will be like, wow, that was stupid.
Yeah.
But then you can at least turn the page on it.
Yeah, you can flip it on.
Well, it'd probably be hard to turn the page oiled up.
Wait, so what is Taylor texting you about? He wants to play blackjack right now? That's what he's doing?
We just played this weekend. He came in town. We played this weekend. And he got murdered.
Okay.
And then I had to come save him.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, no. I mean, call Daddy.
We do think of the Tunnel of Chaos pretty much every day. I think of the Tunnel of Chaos. I do want to come back to Vegas and go back to the Tunnel of Chaos. It's like once you get a taste of it, you just can never get it out of your mouth. So,
how many nights a week would you say that you're at the Tunnel of Chaos?
Many nights a week. Almost. If I'm in town, I'm probably there.
You're pretty good at it.
I was there last night.
You did a good job for me and Big Cat, so we appreciate that.
How crazy was that?
It was awesome.
It was insane.
It was so much fun. It was. I thought Will and Taylor or especially Taylor was just like making things up, and then when we got there, it was a great dudes' night. It was just like guys playing blackjack together, having a great time.
It was awesome. Everybody in your company that was there won that night. We were basically like, how much do you want? I'll take 10 grand. Put up the money, 10 grand. And he needs 30 grand, 100 grand.
Yeah. I think Titus was down like 100 grand and battled his way back until he got 10 grand.
Compton was down like 300K. He was shitting himself. And you're just like, it's all right. We got it.
That was a war.
Yeah.
That one was a war.
Yeah. That one was a war.
The only one that it wasn't easy. We didn't just clip off right away. We had to actually battle.
Yeah. So Dana, you were in the news this week. You just joined the board of Meta. First of all, what do you do on a board? I've always wanted to be on a board. I don't know what happens there, but what's your job on a board?
Well, that's where we differ. I never wanted to be on a board. I was never interested in it. And then, when Mark called me, I like the idea of this. I like social media. I'm fascinated by it. I think it's the future of not just communication, information, but I think it is, it's the future of media. And obviously AI is fascinating. And he reached out to me, asked me if I would be interested. I was, and this was right after. So I literally was on vacation in Italy. I flew to the RNC in Milwaukee, spoke, and flew right back to Italy. And when I landed, I went to dinner, and Mark hit me and said, "You got a minute to talk?" And I said, "Yeah." And he asked me to be on the board. And he said, "You always seem to be on the right side of everything, and my company needs a backbone." And I said, let me see what this entails. And we got into it, and here we are. But my first board meeting was when I was on vacation during the Christmas break. And you basically, they'll pop up things that, either questions or challenges that the company is facing, and they ask the board to vote on it.
Oh, I didn't even realize
how to handle it, what to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you just got brought in to like kick everybody's ass.
Yeah, the backbone. That's pretty badass.
We actually I've been on the board for like 2 weeks, and I've already done a lot of work in 2 weeks. Let's put it that way.
Yeah,
it's been very interesting so far.
I got one
so
of
far so good. I like it.
I got one of those Meta headsets, and I can't get enough of being in the metaverse. It's insane,
Right.
the stuff that you can do. Are you planning on doing anything like that with the UFC, like being in the ring, as close to the ring as possible?
Just getting that experience to a whole nother level. Like your sunglasses right now.
Mm-hmm.
You'll be able to do everything with your sunglasses on, including watching content. And yeah, we are. Have you tried the boxing game yet?
No, I haven't tried that one yet. I've mostly just done like flight sims.
Thrill of the Fight, it's called.
Okay.
Thrill of the Fight. So, the solutions. Play Thrill of the Fight for a month and watch the shape you get in.
Ooh.
So I'll get jacked up.
Yeah, I'm telling you, you'll get in sick shape.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
All right.
What are you doing for working out these days? You look like lean and mean.
I met this guy 3 years ago, completely changed my life. I seriously, I feel like I'm 30 years old again. And every day I do this thing called the Superhuman Protocol, which is cold plunge, sauna, red light therapy, oxygen therapy, and I work out, keto. I've never felt better in my life.
That's awesome.
What is it called? The Superhuman Protocol?
Superhuman Protocol, which is a group of things from oxygen therapy, red light therapy, cold plunge, and sauna.
How long does that take?
Yeah.
It takes like an hour and 15 minutes. And so the whole working out and everything takes like 2 hours and 15 minutes a day.
And how long are we in the cold plunge for?
3 minutes.
Oh, that's not bad.
That's it?
I could do 3 minutes.
Yes. 3 minutes at 50 degrees. Then you get in the sauna for 20 minutes at 180 degrees. Red light therapy for 20, oxygen therapy for 10, and then you do your workout.
Wait, so you work out after all that shit? I thought that was your workout.
It depends on the timing. Sometimes I do before and sometimes I do after.
Okay.
That's pretty intense. I would like to
it.
just count that as my workout.
Yeah.
Like if I spend an hour, 15 minutes being a Superhuman Protocol, then I have to go to the gym afterwards. That sounds like a lot. But
yeah, that sucks.
I might try cold plunge and we'll see.
But it shows.
Listen,
you look awesome.
Thanks. Listen, you have a lot more time on your hands when you're unhealthy. Believe me, I had a lot more time when I was unhealthy and dying.
Yeah. So while we've got you here, I don't know if you've seen the Professional Dick Kicking League. Have you?
I have seen it.
What do you think about it? Is there room for an investment there from UFC? Because that kind of takes Power Slap to the next level.
I think I'm good on that one. I'm good. I don't see much of a future in that.
No? How is Power Slap going? Because it always goes viral. It's crazy to watch. Some of those guys are just hammering on each other.
The most successful business I've ever been a part of in such a short amount of time.
Wow, that's crazy.
Who's the GOAT? Who's the best?
Well, we have champions in every division right now, but who's the best right now? I would have to say Crazy. Yeah, Crazy Hawaiian. Yeah, the Crazy Hawaiian is the best.
Crazy Hawaiian. I wouldn't want to fuck with the Crazy Hawaiian.
I wouldn't want to get
slapped. Is Conor McGregor ever going to fight again for you?
Eventually.
Okay.
Is he going to fight against maybe Logan Paul?
No.
In India? KSI in India?
No. hopefully Conor McGregor returns in the fall of this year.
Because I mean, we're all looking for it. It'd be very fun to watch him back in there. I know we missed it, last time, but we want to see Conor back in there. Are you going to do? I went to a couple shows at the Sphere. Are you going to go back to the Sphere? It looked incredible. It's the most incredible place in terms of concerts and venues. Are you going to try to go back to the Sphere?
It's so badass. I love the Sphere, and anybody that's watching, if your favorite band ever ends up at the Sphere, you have to experience it there. I just went and saw the Eagles. It was so good.
Yeah.
So good. And no, I'll never go back to the Sphere.
Why? It just wasn't worth it?
It was it was totally worth it.
Yeah.
But it was a one and done for me. It's very expensive. And the difference between a musical group going in there, they'll go in for 2 months.
Right.
So they amortize the cost of doing the show over 2 months. I went in there and spent $20 million on one night.
Right.
So
that makes sense.
But it was awesome. It was an unbelievable experience. I did it first. I don't know if anybody else will ever do it. And what I thought was cool, I don't know if it was EDC but it was one of those like music groups. They just did it. And I saw stuff on Instagram. It looked incredible.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Why go out in the fucking middle of the desert when you could go in and do it at the Sphere?
Yeah.
I mean, those are two venues I really want to get to: is Red Rocks and then see a band at the Sphere. But yeah, the Sphere looks like it would just break your brain in a good way.
Yeah, no, the Sphere is a very, very cool experience. So anybody who's listening, believe me when I tell you, seeing it all done. If your favorite band ends up at the Sphere, pay the money, fly out to Vegas, and go check it out.
Yeah, I agree.
Do you ever hang out with Mark Davis in Vegas? You guys ever hit the town together?
I just ran into him the other night at dinner. I saw him the other night. He was out at dinner with Jim Gray. I ran into those two, and yeah, every time I see Mark, I go hang and we shoot the shit for a while, and he's a good dude.
Yeah.
You have any idea what the Raiders are going to be up to?
I don't. I didn't ask him any of that stuff.
No. Yeah. We ran into him.
You know what's crazy? You know the whole story about where I tried to get Brady to go play for the Raiders.
Yeah.
And it actually started to happen, and then the deal imploded, and then he goes to Tampa Bay and wins a Super Bowl down there. And then now he ends up owning a piece of the Raiders. It's such a crazy story.
Yeah. Would you ever own a piece of an NFL team, or is that just not for you?
Nah, I'm not really into that. I like finding sports that nobody else believes in.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So do you have any big plans for this summer? What's next for the UFC?
Yeah, we're going to cruise around, and we're going to places. We got Saudi Arabia coming up on February 1st. We're doing Power Slap and UFC there. We are going back to Seattle. We haven't been to Seattle in a long time. We're heading back to Miami. We got March. We got London, England. We got Saudi Arabia and Sydney, Australia back to back. So I'm going to Saudi and then going straight from there to Sydney. A lot of traveling, a lot of places we haven't been in a long time.
Is there one country that you've been to that you were surprised just how nuts they are for the UFC?
Oh, I mean, you have to experience a fight in the UK. You have to experience it once in your life. It's the fans are just different over there, man. It's very cool.
Yeah, when Dave went over there to watch Patty fight, I was just like, God damn it, I wish I had gone, because that looked so incredible.
100%. Yeah, it's a very cool experience. Plus, like when I started going to London in 2001, the food sucked over there. The food was absolutely fucking brutal. Now in London, the food is off the charts. It's completely flipped. It's a great place to go.
All right. They fixed the food in London. All right. So, Dana, I had one last question. Again, UFC 311 this Saturday night. Perfect timing right after the NFL games. Tune in. It's like wall-to-wall sports. There's nothing better. My last question is a Roback question. RHOBACK.com. Promo code TAKE. 20% off your first purchase. Q-zips, polos, hoodies, joggers, shorts. Roback.com. Promo code TAKE. You said in December that you're going to do something. You have something in the works that we will never see coming for 2025. Can you give us just a hint? What's in the works? We'll never. I mean, I guess I never expected you to be on the meta board.
Oh,
does that count?
That wasn't it.
Okay, all right. What
I
about
expect that. I didn't see that coming either.
What about oiling yourself up?
We saw that coming.
Okay.
I definitely don't see that coming.
What about using your power on the board, get Zuck and Elon in the octagon?
Oh.
Actually, when that was really being talked about, and when I was like negotiating that deal, that was actually one of the coolest experiences of my career. That was fun. Every night I was on the phone with either one of them talking about, and then we started talking about the Coliseum in Rome, and I seriously had a conference call with the government in Rome to try to make that happen. That was all legit. That was real, and that was fun.
So who ducked who?
But what I was talking about in December, I would imagine it's probably going to happen, and it's going to happen in the fall. A fight that I'm working on.
Oh.
And we'll never see it coming.
Nope.
Oh, man.
Now I'm going to look for it coming.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're looking everywhere.
Can you give us a hint?
That's your hint.
Okay.
What, that's going to take place in the fall?
Yeah.
I still think it's you oiling yourself up. That's just my guess.
I'll give you great odds that that's not it. You can bet on that one.
If I guess it, will you give me $1 million right now?
I don't even know what the fuck that means. Oil yourself.
Just oil up, dude.
Just oil up.
Yes, if you guess it, I'll give you $1 million in cash
right now.
Okay. All right.
My guess is Don Jr. versus Hunter Biden.
Yeah, no, you lose.
Okay, all right. My guess. Oh man. Let's go with Dave Portnoy versus Roger Goodell.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
You lose too.
Okay, but if you put that on, you owe us $1 million. You owe us $1 million if you put either of those fights on.
That's right. That's right.
Okay.
If either of those happen, I'll gladly pay you $1 million.
Okay. All right. Done.
I mean, that's a great promotion because now for the next 9 months, I'm just going to be thinking about what I'm not going to see coming.
Yeah.
Just looking over my shoulder all the time.
We're never going to see it coming. All right. So UFC 311 Saturday night. Everyone tune in. Dana, thank you so much for joining us, man. We love having you on, and hopefully we see you soon.
Thanks for having me, boys. Take care.
Guys on Chicks is brought to you by Eroxon. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, erectile dysfunction. 1 in 4 men 18 years and older experience ED, which means that you or someone close to you might be experiencing it. Eroxon is the first of its kind ED treatment gel with clinically proven results that you can get over the counter. To maximize intimacy, you can use it with your partner during foreplay leading up to sex, and it's clinically proven to work within 10 minutes. If you desire deeper connections and better outcomes, Eroxon is the answer. See if it's right for you. Eroxon is available in stores and online. It's over the counter. Visit eroxon.us to learn more. That's EROXON.us to learn more.
All right, let's finish up. We got Guys on Chicks.
My husband and his group of friends all have something called a burner account on X, the Everything app. They all think it's hilarious and are constantly referring to each other in public as their burner nicknames. At night, my husband will be cackling at his phone in bed, and I'll ask, "What's up?" And he responds things like, "Just checking in on the burnerverse." He said I'm not allowed to follow him because it's his me time, and every time I look at his page, he and his buddies are just trolling people like fans of other teams and people who don't like Caitlin Clark. What is going on, and should I be concerned? Is this weird?
No, it's awesome.
No, it's weird. Yeah, if you have a burner, cut him out forever.
I got into the burner life a few years ago. I only did for 2 months. I had a burner account, and it's liberating. You can say whatever you want.
The SEC burnerverse, that goes crazy. Just like fans of different teams, it all kind of. The only thing I don't understand is they respond to each other and they will write their fake name in like it's almost a letter. I never got that. They'll be like, "Hope you're doing well," and then sign it like Reginald.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, he's just fucking around online.
Yeah, it's like a diary for guys. If your diary was only meant to piss other people off.
Also, do not try to find it or follow him because you will not be happy.
Well, the good thing is they don't show likes anymore.
Yeah, true.
So you can get away with a lot more in the burner.
True.
Yeah.
Some of the burners though are getting there's some that are getting they say really crazy shit, like racist shit. But there's also some that are getting I love watching the burners because when you get a little bit of following, you can tell when the burner wants to also have a little bit of fame, and so they dip their toe in they'll tweet pictures that someone could potentially be like, I know where that is.
Yeah.
And it's a very tricky situation that's fun to watch.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's healthy to have an outlet for some things, but I don't like the verified burner accounts. It's not a true burner if you have a check mark.
Yeah, those get confusing.
Yeah, you shouldn't verify your alt. But I was just thinking about the Costco guys. how are they going to be affected by the TikTok ban? And also, how
We're in
deep
trouble,
does this?
yeah.
How deep does this go? We know that it's a money game in Washington D.C. How many of these Congress people are taking money from Walmart, and they know that Costco is getting all this free advertisement on TikTok from the Walmart, from the Costco guys? So they're trying to ban TikTok to take out that big marketing stream that they got going on.
These are good points.
I think the Costco guys might be single-handedly responsible for the government trying to ban TikTok.
There are Walmart guys now.
Yeah, but they don't do it for me.
Nah, they do it for me. It's like anti-comedy. They don't even
do
know
it
what
for
they're
me.
doing. Okay, next one.
My fiance doesn't ever make a move on me, and if he does, he says he needs to take a peek at my V, which creeps me out. How can I tell him to stop doing that and actually seduce me like a normal person?
What?
Let me take a peek at your V.
Ugh.
What?
I mean, you're in too deep. You're fucking
Fiance
engaged to be wed.
What? Peek at your V?
So this probably happened, and like right off the bat, she was like, "Surely he has other moves that he'll show."
What the hell? Yeah. This one creeps me out.
I think you got to, with a guy like this, you have to be very direct, and you
Also,
have,
like
maybe,
that.
Maybe give him some suggestions of things that you can say.
Yeah. What do you say?
Like, I don't know that I get turned on by straight V.
No.
You don't get turned on by V?
Just looking at V?
I do.
No. I need some B with the V.
Listen, hand up. I love vaginas.
Yeah,
But it's like
I do too. But like if I just showed you a picture, you'd be
sound
like,
like you do.
damn.
You're either an ABV guy or a BAV guy.
A BAV, boobs ass V.
Like, the question is not ass or tit. It's
Yeah, right. Yeah, people aren't like
It's A or B.
Yeah, ass or tits.
Not
vagina.
A, B, or V.
I'm a brains guy. I respect a woman's brains.
But if you look at like a full nude that has some V, it looks better.
That's okay.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a zoomed in V?
Yeah.
No thank you.
Yeah, zoomed in V.
I don't think a
if you
zoomed
see
in
a
D
full
would look
frontal,
good.
You're not zooming in on the V first.
Sometimes you look at the V.
Why do you guys hate V so much?
I don't.
For me, it's like the V is a buffalo wing, and the B's are blue ranch. The A is celery. Altogether, it's a beautiful picture.
I don't think though. Like, isn't this like when dudes send chicks dick pics? Chicks are like, "What the hell is it?" Like, just a solo dick pic is like that doesn't
Again,
do anything
same
for
thing.
girls.
Chicks aren't sending V pics; they're sending B and A pics.
with some V.
I don't know where all this anti-V bias came.
It's not anti-V. It's just it's a standalone entity. You don't just zoom in on a V.
A
Just
V
like
video.
a dick, just like a picture of your balls would be not good.
Well, that's because like dicks and balls are objectively gross, and God bless women. I don't know how you put that stuff in your mouth. V's are just fantastic.
Yes,
V's are
no,
beautiful.
V's
Yeah.
are great. I
Great.
love feeling
Like-
V's. I never am like I want to see that. I
Wow.
don't want to just look at it.
I'm not looking
I'm
at a
learning-
V
I
and being
don't
like,
want you guys-
damn.
Like I could look at B's and A's all day, but I
Right.
don't want to just like stare at a V. I
Right.
want to experience
It's
it.
context.
Yeah, there needs to be context.
Yeah. Yeah, weird guy.
Okay.
Yeah, the peek at the V that's like a child.
Yeah. I need to see your V. It's crazy.
Peek at your V is worse.
Yeah. I'm in quite the predicament with my girlfriend. I'm a massive Ohio State football fan and Ravens fan. Last weekend was a huge weekend for me as I had the semifinals for Ohio State, wild card game for the Ravens. Both nights, my girlfriend made me go out on dates with her where I was barely able to see either of the games. I was trying to watch my phone, but she wouldn't let me. Yikes. Next weekend is obviously a little bigger for me now that I have divisional Ravens-Bills game and Ohio State National Championship. My girlfriend wants to go away to a cabin. No, this is not real.
No.
My girlfriend wants to go away to the long weekend, but I refuse to miss these games. Please help me find a way out of this so I can watch my favorite sports teams in the playoff and hopefully win a national dumper.
Dude, these are the two. I mean, you have those in what, 24 hours? Because it's the late game on Sunday and then the national championship the next day. Yeah.
If you can't get playoff football, like if you can't negotiate a deal for playoff football,
Right.
you're already in.
Right.
You're like you're too far gone.
Yeah.
I think you got to fake being sick.
This
Yeah.
doesn't sound like.
I think you should
this
just say
doesn't
it.
sound like a long term. I'll
No,
say
just
it. I'll
say
say it. This does not sound like a good
you
relationship
just gotta-
that you're going to want to be in for a long time.
Yeah. These are meaningful games for me. I'm not going to a cap unless the cabin has TV. Then you
But
can't.
think about if you're an Ohio State Ravens fan, like 2 dates.
I know.
One is that's a settlement. Like I'll go on one, but I'm watching the other one.
Right. No, you can't.
If you're
even
getting
settle for
forced
that.
into 2 dates, this is not real.
No, they said going to a long weekend in a cabin.
After 2 dates?
Oh, I missed the 2 dates part.
The 2 dates last weekend.
Oh.
Both nights my girlfriend made me go out on dates with her where I was barely able to see either of the games. I was trying to watch my phone, but she wouldn't let me.
Oh, yeah, you're in trouble, dude. Get out.
The problem, the deep underlying issue is she doesn't understand your interests.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a pretty big time of year for those interests.
Yeah, that's bad.
Yeah.
I think if you really, really like her, fake being sick. Be like, I got to stay home because I'm puking. Like, act like you're in elementary school and you're trying to miss a test. Heat up the thermometer.
But that's just that's a Band-Aid on a flesh wound.
Say you'll cut your dick off if Notre Dame wins. Then she has interest.
Sounds
in
like
this
she
game.
might be into that.
Yeah, true. True. She'd be like, great. Okay, is that it?
Yeah.
All right. Good show, boys.
Good show.
Good show. Numbers
5.
Memes, you think you're ever going to get this?
One day, and that day's today.
Oh!
No, I'm never going to get it.
Okay, give it to us.
48.
Okay.
11.
I don't know where I got that.
I'll go 3.
36.
Come on, man.
You could have taken 3.
Yeah. That'll honestly hurt me the most.
This kid's been in my TikTok comment section saying 36. This is your day. This is your moment. Fucking loser.
60. Oh, the boys missed it. All right, come back in. Let's do it again. This one will count. This one will count. Oh, Shane, we haven't talked to you. Shane, did you go to the game?
Oh, Shane's wearing a Charger sweater, too.
Yeah, it's Shane. Shane, you didn't go to the game, did you?
Did you go to the game? What's up?
Did you go to the game?
No, I was on the IR, flu symptoms.
Okay, so real quick, just thoughts on Chargers.
I'm trying not to think about them.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're wearing a sweatshirt.
You're wearing a Chargers
Yeah,
sweatshirt.
well, that's just wardrobe.
That's all he has.
Yeah. I have to keep myself warm.
Did you
in the Chicago winter.
Did you bum yourself out when you put it on? You're like,
I mean,
you just put on and you're like, oh fuck.
When I saw it, like I was about to put it on, I was like, someone's probably gonna say shit to me today.
Yeah.
And it's 10 in the morning, and they already did.
It's 11:30.
Yeah.
It's 11:30 in the morning.
Damn. All right, numbers with all the boys. Everyone's here.
I'll stick with 5.
36.
I'll go with
3.
Memes. What was the number you just picked?
48.
All right, I'll go 48.
94 pug.
23. 21.
11.
What did I pick, Memes?
48.
Oh,
40.
Fuck.
Oh man.
So close, huh?
It's one of my numbers.
Love you guys.
40's nuts.
Jordy 40.